Alright, so today we're taking over Nottingham Forest, a team that currently is 17th in the Premier League table, fighting relegation, but currently are in the round of 16 of the Europa League, as you can see. And Vitor Pereira was recently brought in as manager of Nottingham Forest, but in this universe, I am stepping in as manager of Nottingham Forest. Let's get into the series and hopefully rebuild this fallen giant of a club. And well, for my first game as Forest manager, we're going to be taking on Brighton, who are currently 14th in the table on 34 points, 7 points ahead of us in the table. We're currently 17th on 27, 2 points behind Spurs on 29, and only a couple of points ahead, 1 point ahead, sorry, of West Ham on 26. So right now, the even Burnley could even surpass us if we did drop form massively. But West Ham are our biggest rivals right now for the relegation positions. Obviously, our next game after Brighton is Manchester City 2 days later. There's going to be a quick turnaround for terms of games, but I wanted to really quickly just mention why I decided to end the Hamburg series where I ended it, because we did win the treble in Season 2, winning the Bundesliga, the Pokal and the Europa League. I just kind of felt like going after the Champions League was kind of just like dragging the series on just for one trophy. Didn't really feel like worthwhile doing. So I thought, you know what, a sort of new crowd, let's go with Nottingham Forest, a team that obviously currently fighting against relegation after last season. Possibly they could have finished in Champions League football, obviously gone through 4 managers this season, and a team that are desperately in need of help. And with big players like Anderson and Murillo, who are players that are most likely going to have to sell next season, especially Anderson. I feel like he's a player we have to sell and replace in the team. But most importantly, we need to just focus on the now and surviving, and not get relegated back down to the Championship. And let's get into our first game against Brighton and hopefully show some fight to stay in the Prem. Alright, so we go here. Obviously, this game that I'm recording right now is taking place in a few hours for me against Brighton, which I'm going to watch. And after I'm going to watch the Arsenal-Chelsea game. After Man City won yesterday against Leeds, obviously getting back into the title fight. Only 2 points behind him, so I'm hoping Chelsea can beat Arsenal. This gives White a good chance for the captain to put his one goal up here against Brighton. A rally. It's going to be bad there for Noah. Murillo can intercept. I see him, Murillo, and also Gibbs White, the players that and I mostly talked about players in terms of leaving Forest next season. So Gibbs White was on his way to Spurs until that, fell through. After Marinakis similarly got involved and stopped it from happening. Put on the door. Speaking of Gibbs White, here he is over to Amari Hutchinson. And Verbruggen somehow stops us from making it 1-0. There's Karam Matoma. Danny Warbeck, who also has been great for Brighton as a striker since reviving his corona weight. Weirdly for him, as a younger player, he wasn't as good, but as an older player, he's been incredible for Brighton. And hosted the door denied by the Dutchman. Forest need to win more because they are, like I say, only 1 point ahead of West Ham. Blocked today by Murillo, straight through to Ortega. So he's coming in on a short deal from Man City on loan. As Matt Stoles is out injured, but he's going to be back after this game. After a good opening 30 minutes or so, we are now back to being on the back foot. But here gives White through to Ledoy, can the former Chelsea man make it 1-0 here. He turns his shoots and Verbruggen denies us. Gets past Sangora, but there's Hutchinson intercepting. Well, so far we have been performing great in this game. Igor Jesus here to Ledoy, over right down the left hand side. Gives White back through to Ledoy. Can he finally put his head in this game? Verbruggen again with a save. Development. He experienced Dutchman. Ball into the box. Pascal Gross. Riley hits it, blocked there by Elliot Anderson, and just for the hard-time break, Brighton get their first attacking moment of the game. Pascal Gross in, headed away by Murillo, and there's Fajan Kubamente, who gets it back into the box with Welbeck's. Strikers wide of the post, and at half-time it's 0-0. De Kuiper, Sangari does well to win it. One player who's not been in the game is Igor Jesus, but he could get a chance here. The Brazilian is in. And just as I say he's not been in this game, he scores a goal. I've actually not said his name once throughout this whole game here. He gets his 3rd goal of the season. Like I said, in the Europa League he's been prolific in terms of scoring goals for Forest, but in the Premier League, as you can see by that record, he hasn't done so. He's got unlucky on some occasions. He's had some good chances that he probably should have scored. As he has a few offsides against his name. As Hutchinson plays it over the top to find him. And it's 1-0 here to us to make a few changes to try and hold on to this lead and get their big 3 points set away at Brighton. It's as well as Lorenzo Luca on at striker. So Arna gives the ball to Welbeck there, but luckily we didn't concede there. There's Carlos Baleba. Plots there from us, backward. Gets it into Gibbs White. Gibbs White can keep possession. Freed it through to the Frenchman. And cut it back. In here to the mid, Jesus blocked, and it comes back to backward. Gibbs White inside. Finds Ndoye. This is why Lorenzo Luca here when he's 6'6" or 6'7". Well, backward, lovely mid there from the French, but he shoots near post. Lorenzo Luca trying to feed through Gibbs White, but Shagley blocks, and that's going to be a big win for us against Brighton. The 3 points picked up, and depending on results elsewhere, that could give us a bit of a leeway and the bottom of the table to stay in the Premier League season. Our next game is Man City, so we're most likely are going to lose that one, but there's a chance we could beat them to get another big 3 points. But we deserve to win here. We outplayed Brighton from the opening moment of the game. Eddie Anderson, the best player on the pitch for us, and Igor Jesus gets a goal to win us it, and overall a much deserved win for us in this one here. Alright, so after that win against Brighton, it's time to see how we can do under my management up against Manchester City here. Let's get into this one at the Etihad and hopefully somehow pull out a big victory here, as right now we're currently on 16th in the table on 30 points. So a win here will take us closer as the safety if we can somehow beat Pep Guardiola's Man City here. And well, I'm not expecting a win here, but there's a good chance that I will win this game because, you know, in career mode, sometimes you end up just winning every game because the AI aren't that good. As we are seeing quite a lot recently with some career modes that I do where I win loads of trophies with teams that shouldn't really win the trophies, like case in point the Hamburg team we had that just went on to win the treble. And obviously that didn't include Champions League, but it did include the Europa League, which we could win here in our first season here as Forest manager, well, first 6 months as Forest manager, which would be big. So in this universe, instead of Vitor Pereira being brought in, I've been brought in as manager. But on the door just inside, the number 7 hits it. Donnarumma with a save. And Gibbs White, who obviously has been long-term target for Man City. Great play for us, Johnny Reinders. Blocked there by Eddie Anderson. Could possibly be his midfield partner next season. That'd be a great midfield, Eddie Anderson and Johnny Reinders behind whoever will play at Cam. I think Reinders will probably play Cam, and it would be Rodri and Anderson together. Igor Jesus, the Brazilian, turns and shoots, but Gahey with the interception. Singore on the turn. Hutchinson switches it, looking for Hudson-Odoi. That's a great ball there from the former Chelsea youngster to find his fellow former Chelsea Youth Academy player, and it's going to be defended away by Mateus Nunes. And we can whip this one in here with Anderson looking for the head of Milenkovic in the centre, the former Fiorentina defender. He does win the header, but it's a tame one, and Inori heads it away. Oh, it's a bad pass there from Doku, intercepts, and there goes Haaland. And he beats Ola Aina. This is dangerous here, Haaland. So right now, real life, picked up an injury, didn't play against Leeds. Rodri inside, Reinders misses. Inside here, Haaland turns, and that's a big save there from Ortega to deny his former teammate. We've been in this game. It's definitely one that we can win. Gives White here to Hudson-Odoi. Finds Jesus. There's no more hope to keep possession, but Reinders eventually gets it off him there. Just wanted one more turn and the shot. Here to Mateus Nunes, who plays it across to Rodri, who shoots, and Ortega. Now Hutchinson. If we can break it as a goal for us here. Igor Jesus. Back to Hutchinson. I might have overcomplicated this, but we find Eddie Anderson, who hits it. And Donnarumma makes an easy save there for himself, puts it out for a corner though. Headed away by Aina. Singora does well to control it. Not too sure why he turned into danger. He definitely could have turned away from the box, but didn't do so. Here's Jesus. Hutchinson, 1-on-1 with Donnarumma. And Hutchinson scores to put us 1 goal to the good. Omari Hutchinson, the former talent at Chelsea, a player that I've always liked, Omari Hutchinson. Gets his 2nd goal of the Premier League season for Forest there. It's a great finish as well. It's poor defending from City. And I believe Jesus with the assist. And Hutchinson puts this one goal to the good here. Let's make a few changes. City trying to get themselves back into this game. I do wish the AI in this game were harder. Because right now they are just, I don't know, kind of stupid. Especially in attacking wise, they just make so many errors and passes they don't need to make. McCarthy got the pass a little bit wrong, to say the least. It's a bit too much on it in the end, but Ndoye. It's 2-0. A massive error at the back there from City, giving the ball away. And Donnarumma was in no man's land. It's a very good finish there from Dan Ndoye, by the way. Yes, it was an open goal, but still an awkward one to try and score under pressure. You can see they get the ball away. Dan Ndoye realises the opportunity. After Ruben Diaz misplaces the pass, wraps it around him. And Donnarumma could have made the save, but thankfully for us, he didn't do so. And it's 2-0 here to us. And well, this is kind of surprising that we are beating City, but at the same time it isn't, because the AI in this game are just not challenging whatsoever. Reinders here to Holland. Nico Williams got challenge in there from him. Finds James McCarthy, the former Man City man, turns his shoots, and it's blocked by Nathan Ake. Semenyo. City here are about to lose this game 2-0, but they could get the ball forward for a consolation goal. Here's Foden. Rodri. Here's to Semenyo. It's a big challenge there from Ryan Yates, and it's a 2-0 win away from home. 2 back-to-back wins away from home against Brighton and City here. Some big points picked up in the Premier League for us, and well, Pep Guardiola had no choice but to just say fair play, because we deserve to win this game. Man City just didn't turn up to this game. They had a few moments attacking wise. Reinders putting the ball over the bar. Ortega, I think, had to make one save. And we deserved this win here. Nico Williams, the man of the match apparently for us, but a big win for us here, away from home against City. And that's 6 points picked up for me as manager to see ourselves get further away from relegation in the Prem. Alright, so next up we're taking on Porto here in the round of 16 of the Europa League. Obviously in real life it's all been Midtjylland instead of Porto. We got given a much harder draw than Forest have in real life. I can see Hudson-Odoi is actually suspended for this against the Dan Ndoye. He's going to slot down on the left. It's not a bad replacement, but obviously losing him for this game is a big loss for us overall. Chris Wood is back from injury, but he's a player that I'm looking to sell, so I'm just going to take Luka Netz with us just in case we need him at some point in this game. Let's get into this one now, up against Porto, and hopefully beating them here at the City ground and get a big win in the first leg to see us hopefully advance into the quarterfinals of the Europa League this season. Alright, so we're going to have to beat Man City 2-0. I've edited the sliders that we play on, made them a bit more harder, and just hopefully they will make the gameplay a little bit more challenging, because right now after we just beat Man City 2-0 in a result we probably should have lost, because I see Forest will most likely lose that game IRL. Although Man City did only just beat Leeds 1-0, but obviously Haaland wasn't in the squad. We're going to need a chance on the attack here. Hutchinson puts it back here. Anderson over here to Dan Ndoye, obviously getting the start in this game due to the injury, or not injury, the suspension of Hudson-Odoi. And Ndoye floats it up, looking for Gibbs White in the header, but Varela heads it away. There could be one right here for us as Igor Jesus plays through Dan Ndoye, the Swissman. Shot blocked though. Oh no. Here's Samu. Interesting decision to shoot there from him. Not too sure why he decided to do that, but it works out for us. Hutchinson in the attack low. Igor Jesus hits it, denied there by Diogo Costa, the Portuguese goalkeeper. And play it forward into Dan Ndoye. He can get there just before the defender, just about there. The Swissman does incredible there to find Jesus, who somehow didn't get the shot away there. How did he not get the shot away there? A win-in. Obviously our second goal that we scored was a little bit fortunate on our side. We got Jesus. Why not? Blocked though by Jakob Kivior out for a corner, sorry. And Eddie Anderson and play it short here to no, I keep going to say Hudson-Odoi, to Ola Aina. Here is Gibbs White, the captain, is on a fairly quiet game, I will say. He plays it inside to Igor Jesus, he does incredible. He shoots, but he misses. Well, here is for Holt. Now forward in here to Pepe, good defending there from Morales, fellow Brazilian. Well, here you go, Jesus now on the run here, an hour into the game. Hudson-Odoi, he might be offside. Jesus scores though, and it's offside. Jesus, it gives White. Down here to Hudson-Odoi. Keeps possession just about there. You go Jesus for a second time, does well. Chips the keeper. And Hutchinson turns it in. He had to. That was about to be cleared. And Amore Hutchinson puts us one goal up here. It's taken us 70 plus minutes to get a goal in this game. And we finally get one. Hutchinson does well to get it just before the defender who was going to clear that. And puts us one goal to the good in this game. Let's make a few changes to try get a second. Finds Pepe, flicks it inside. He does all right there up until the final moment of the chance. And there we go. It's a 1-0 win at the City Ground against Porto, in which wasn't an easy game. Porto came here and gave us a good challenge, as you would expect. We did dominate the game in terms of shots and possession. Porto didn't really create anything going forward. The AI is still... They were harder to beat defensively and a bit better sometimes in the attack, but I still feel like the AI just are stupid attacking wise. As you can see, they only managed to get 3 shots, and I just feel like a lot of the times that they gave away possession, they didn't need to. But we get a win here, that's all that matters. But going to the second leg, we would have to play that one away in Porto. Alright, so next up is the game up against relegation candidates and relegation rivals in Spurs here. Currently are 17th in the table, 2 points clear of West Ham. And I see Spurs this season are actually a team people are saying that could get relegated. I don't think they will. I think they've got the players to stay above West Ham, and I think West Ham are most likely going to get relegated. But to be fair, West Ham have looked decent recently a bit, and Spurs, if they don't perform as well as they can do, they could get relegated. I'm not going to say they can't, but I can see the goal difference is massive, and also Spurs are the better players and the better squad, and I'd expect Spurs to stay up in the Prem. But back-to-back seasons finishing in the bottom half of the table for Spurs isn't looking good. Let's get into this one though, up against them, and hopefully beat them here before we get into the next leg of the Europa League. I did sim the second leg against Porto. We beat them 2-1, and we're now taking on Real Betis in the quarterfinals after we hopefully beat Spurs up next. Especially with Sol's not making a save. There's Karamawani. Shot there. Sol's does make the save though. It would be meant that the Spurs actually get relegated in the season, IRL, and in this career mode. I think it's more likely to happen in this game than it is IRL, but Richarlison misses the goal there, the Brazilian, who's Spurs' best player right now in terms of stats. If not, well, he definitely is in the top 6, not too sure where he would be in that list, but great with there from Gus White, who should have scored. Kind of Moani. Good defending there from Renault. It would be a big miss for us if we do have to sell him next season. I think Eddie Anderson's a player that we must sell. Gibbs White is a player in contention to leave, and that's going to be a yellow card for them for a cynical foul. But we're going to keep playing Hudson-Odoi. Eddie Anderson, I was going to hit that there, but I think the space. Hudson-Odoi cuts it inside. Great work there from him. He shoots. I'm aiming far corner, but goes straight up Vicario. That's frustrating. It's 0-0 again at half time. I feel like every game into this episode has ended 0-0 at half time. Box it. And someone gets passes there as well. Plays the ball forward into Gallagher here. Who what's an interesting cross, and Williams is going to deal with it. Now Hudson-Odoi can carry it forward for us here. It's an incredible day. Can they shoot and score? And Hudson-Odoi does so. Just an hour into the game, he gets his 4th goal of the season. What a player Hudson-Odoi has been for us in this team. We did miss him against Porto. Yes, Hudson-Odoi played great, but Hudson-Odoi is just a better player down that left-hand side, in my opinion. And he scores there. It's a great bit of play as well. A great goal himself there. Does it patiently, just inside the box, a bit of skill. Gets a shot away, beats Vicario, and puts us one goal to the good here in this game, which we'd love to see. And this, if we manage to win this game, will be a big win for us. The CSOs get a few points clear of the relegation positions and be able to focus on the next stage of the Europa League up against Real Betis. And we could do what Spurs did last season, to be fair, finish in the bottom half of the table but win a European trophy. That would be pretty insane if we can do so. Pedro Porro. Oh, Porro here might get them back into the game straight away. If he does, that'll be frustrating. Murillo does well to defend him. Hudson-Odoi, last involvement for you as well. We're going to bring on Hudson-Odoi. Here you go, Jesus into the captain. And guess what? Buries it to make it 2. Makes up for his miss in the first to score in the second. And he needs a new face scan. That's it. The face scan he's had for the past like 6 years or something in the game, since his time at Wolves, which was a long time ago now. And Jesus is well there to get it inside there to the captain. He rifles it past Vicario this time and makes it 2-0 against the team that he could have been playing for this season if it wasn't for Marinakis stopping the transfer. Good win there from Jay Cunha. He's 6'6" and only 22 years of age. He's got time to develop more in this team. Oh, Luca couldn't hold up the play there. Oh no. Richarlison shoots and puts it over the bar. Oh, a thief has. Oh no! Can I just escape a thief for once, man? If you just watch my Hamburg series, you know how much I hate playing against him in this game. He played for Dortmund in that series. It's Matthias Telly shoots and hits the crossbar. I suppose one last attempt. Maybe one last. No, it's going to be a 2-0 win for us. Gives White gets a yellow card for something I'm not too sure what in the end, but another 3 points for us. Another win away from home at Tottenham. Against a team we might have just put down into the relegation positions. You can hear the boos around the stadium for the Spurs team, as we are doing well to fight out of relegation. And while Spurs had chances in this game, they could have taken them, but didn't do so. And it's a big 3 points for us in this one, away from home against them here. Alright, so next up we are taking on Real Betis here at the City Ground. They're travelling all the way here to Nottingham to face us here. Let's get straight into this one. Up against a team that I actually did think about doing a Chromid with, but I decided on Forest as the next series because, well, Forest are in a much dire position than Real Betis are. But let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see another Real Betis series on the channel. Obviously, a few years ago we did one, which ended up being a pretty fun Chromid with them. Obviously, they are in a bit of a better position than they were then, with lots of Anthony in the team. They've got Eza Zuli still in the squad. Rodrigo de Kelme is not their player. They've got some good players in the team. Let's get into this one, up against them now, and hopefully beat them here in the first leg. To Ezazuli, the Moroccan, blocked by Ola Aina. See, Ezazuli was a fantastic player for us in our Betis series a few years ago now, as crosses whipped in. Gives White, gets a slight block on that Morello now. Hopefully we can get this away here. And we do just about kind of do so, but the ball is still in our half and under pressure. Now what I would like to see is a goal in the first half, because right now here goes Anthony. We haven't scored a goal in the first half in this series, if I'm not mistaken. Hernandez, or conceded one. To be fair, we haven't conceded. Have we conceded a goal? I don't think we have. In the played game, we haven't conceded a goal yet. That shot was blocked out for a corner to them. Anthony in. I might have just jinxed it. And I haven't. Just yet, Eddie Anderson heads it off the line as Betis are all over us here. Here goes Anthony, who's revived his career over in Spain. Not too sure how he's doing this season for Real Betis compared to his loan spell that he had last season. Obviously, he was a big player for them. Gives White over the top here to Igua Jesus, who does incredible here. Jesus scores. 20 minutes in, we finally get a goal in the first half in this series. I don't think we scored in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. I think all our goals we've scored have been in the second half so far, up until right here. But Igua Jesus has scored 9 goals for us in the Europa League this season. What a play he's been for Forest IRO in this competition. And what a player that he is IRO. He's just a player that is going to give his all every time he plays. And that's why he starts up front for Forest. Because he might not be the most prolific goal scorer, but the work he puts in, if you watch a Forest game, which I recommend you do, you see Igor Jesus just constantly working, getting the ball, running around, and just doing great things for Forest. And I think he could be a great player for them if he continues to develop and become a better striker. He's proven that he can score goals. He just needs to get more clinical and consistent with doing so. Singore. We somehow give the ball away here as they still have possession somehow there. Matamara. Through there, there's good defending from Merlot. This has been linked to Bayern Munich, Man City, Chelsea. As we, if we concede there, thank you so for making that save, because that pass was not aimed at Milenkovic. And now we concede a corner. That's an Adoy. Keeps it in play just about there. Just before the half-time break. It's incredible there to cut it inside or cut it back there. And that's going to be variance to defenders, but Jesus' shot goes wide of the post. Murray Hutchinson, Llorente is there. I beat one defender, but couldn't be the second. It should be a third putter for my Leeds man. See from a Barcelona defender as well. Ball up wider to find Anthony. Brings it inside to Altamora, the Spaniard. In here to Isco. He shoots and Matt Souls, what a save. Best, but we get it back. There he goes, Jesus. Why is the door running towards me? Why is he not running into the open space? It's so frustrating. You know, Anderson, why not? Straight into the goals of a relegation goal. But why did Hudson-Odoi run behind Igor Jesus instead of the space that was already ahead of him? Lovely play here. Hutchinson lifts it up, back post to the Odoi. Denied by Bellerin. There is backward. Dan Doy. The Swissman hits it and Valej makes a good save. Fornals. Esco plays it backwards for some reason, but gets the ball again. Ball over the top. Milenkovic as well. Matt Souls. A little bit squeaky there for us to deal with that one, but we did just about in the end. By squeaky, I mean tight. Dan Doy. Give and go there with Eddie Anderson. Gives White. Dan Doy driving into the space, couldn't get a shot away. Bartram as well to defend him. Backward. Luca back into the Frenchman. Not gives White one out. The captain, power shot from him into the back of the net. That's a great strike there from him. I've not scored a power shot in so long. And gives White. Gives us a 2-goal lead in this game. He just had the space, so I thought, you know, why not? He puts everything behind it. The captain gives us another big goal to make it 2-0. And here at the City Ground, you can hear what it means to the Forest fans. We're seeing their team not only climb out the relegation positions as be as manager, but also go on a surprising Europa League run here. Good defending there from us again, though. And that's good defending from them in the front foot. Cucho Hernandez, good defending from Milenkovic. And scrappy here at the end, but we're going to just deal with it. And the referee should call it right here. There we go. It's a 2-0 win away from at home against Betis in the quarterfinal first leg. And that's a big win for us here in this competition. Up against a very tough Betis team. They played well against us. And they had chances, they just couldn't take them. And they were a good challenge in this game. But as you can see, defensively, we were very good in this game. Morgan gets White with the best performance in the game. Igor Jesus gets the first goal as well. An overall great performance from this team, and a well-deserved win in this one here. Alright, so next up we're taking on Olympique Lyon here, as you can see, in the Europa League. We did some of the second leg against Real Betis and we beat them. We picked up some good results in the Prem as well. We'll show you the calendar actually after this game. We'll show you how we're currently looking in terms of position right now before we get into our next game, which will be after this one. As we get into this one up against Olympique Lyon, the team we did just do a critical with. Obviously, they got Endrick up front on loan from them. Some pretty good players in the team that we know how good they can be from that. Lyon says we did just do on the channel, but let's get into this one up against them and hopefully beat them here to hopefully get a big win here in the semi-final first leg to advance hopefully into the final of the Europa League. Guess what? Obviously, just off scoring after that long shot that Soros beat Betis in the first leg. Cut to the door, cuts inside. He shoots and it's blocked by Clinton Mata. He just took too long to get the shot away. Here goes Endrick. It's poor defender from me, to be fair. And then Moreira's through. And he misses, so the Portuguese puts it wide of the post. Ball forward here towards the door. Control it into the box to Igor Jesus, who can't get a shot away. Grief gets there half a second before him. Here goes Endrick. Good defender from Lenkovic. Not falling for the skill. Out to the door. How did Maitland-Niles get the ball off him there? Endrick, Milenkovic could challenge in there against him. Jesus forward into Amari Hutchinson. And Hutchinson scores again for us in the 31st minute here. Makes it 1-0 at this City ground against Olympique Lyon. And what a player Hutchinson's turning out to be for us in this team at right mid. And I'm showing faith in Hutchinson because he's the player that's playing the most for Forest on the right hand side of the season as he backward. With a sign from Strasbourg. There's a good young talent, but he's not really shown the best of his ability yet in the Prem. And I'm hoping that backward, especially in real life, can start showing some good performances for Forest. He's not been awful, but he's not been the player that Forest expected him to be. As having a breakout season in League One last season for Strasbourg. But right now, Hutchinson is a player that I do want to play right mid for us, unless he starts playing Cam. If we do so, if we sell, gives White. I think Hutchinson could do a job at Cam and backward comes into the right mid position. And it could be 2-0 pretty quickly here. Igor Jesus gives White. Let's get caught in position there. We get it back to Eddie Anderson. Gives White. Go to the door. Makes it 2. And well, just as we got the second, just as we got the first, we quickly get the second. And it's 2-0 here in the semi-final first leg of the Europa League. And what a weird season this could be for Forest. After I've come in as manager, we could go on to win the Europa League this season. I think this is the semi-finals, if I'm not mistaken. And we score here to make it 2-0 as we come towards the second half, or the half-time break. We have a 2-goal lead in this one. Wider to Malik Fofana. Blocked by Ola Aina. Oh no, here goes Endrick. Into Fofana, the Belgian with the pace. Denied by his fellow Belgian, and Matt Sells with a massive save there. Just need a pass, there was nothing on there for us. Oh no. Oh no. Here goes Petr Sulc. Or Pavel Sulc, I can't remember what his first name was. I think it was Pavel. But Sells denies him there. What a game Sells has had in game, by the way. He's made 3 or 4 big saves for us in this game. The keeper's in the lead. Mangola heads off. So it's going to be a free kick for handball against Alandoy. And Sulc is going to hit the crossbar with his header. And we get the ball straight back to them because that pass somehow goes through every one of our players and straight to them. Good block there by Jay Cunha. Well, Aina keeps it in play just about, but loses possession somehow there. Cunha as well. Okay, well, final moments of the game they can. Lyon find us back in this one. No, they can't. We can get it away. And it's going to be a 2-0 win here at this City ground. It seems that with the max scores we can score in a played game right now is 2 goals. But we haven't conceded again. And I don't think I've conceded in a played game just yet in this series, which is insane to say, but we haven't done so just yet, if I'm not mistaken. And we get the 2-0 win here, courtesy goals from Hudson-Odoi and Hutchinson. And overall, it was a pretty good game, a pretty good challenge. We only had 3 shots. It was a fairly tense game, a fairly tight game. There wasn't much in terms of chances or entertainment, but we get the win, and that's all that matters. Alright, so before we face Braga here in the Europa League final, I thought I'd give you a quick update how we're doing in the Premier League, because we have seen a bunch of games in between that game against Lyon and where we are right now. And the Premier right now, we're currently sitting 13th, as you can see, looking pretty comfortable in 13th with 48 points. And in terms of the drop zone, as you can see, we're currently 16 points clear of Burnley. So that's why I've been simming games in the Premier, because right now, we don't need to play these games because, well, we've been picking up draws and some wins here and there. We've only lost 1 game, which was up against Man United. And right now we're looking pretty decent. 13th in the table. Obviously isn't great, but it's a lot better than where they are right now in real life. So obviously we're looking pretty decent with only, like, I believe 1 game left of the season. Do have a -3 goal difference, which isn't great, but we've done pretty well to slow down, to minimise the amount of goals we've conceded and score a bunch of goals since I've come in as manager. And we're looking pretty decent, currently level on points with Newcastle in 12th, and obviously also Brighton as well. And not too far off Everton in 10th. Obviously that will be unlikely, well, impossible for us to finish in the top 10 this season, but we could at least finish in the top 13, which is pretty good for us, and finish quite a bit clear of the drop zone. But let's get into the game against Braga in the Europa League and hopefully win it. Doesn't have the pace of getting behind us, so we just have to wait. Hugo Jesus from range, the Brazilian hits it. It's not a bad effort, but not the greatest either. It's Eddie Anderson. This could be one of his final games for us. Hudson-Odoi. Across, gives White. I maybe should have done that a second earlier. Well, they're coming to the attack here. Ricardo Horta. Real easy interception for him to make there. Ricardo Horta. Good challenge there from Ola Aina. He's been dispossessed there though. And blocked it. It's going to be a corner for them. 19 minutes in. And they take it down his shoot. Excuse me? What just happened there? I need to see a better replay. He hits it here. It takes a deflection. Oh, it's so frustrating. Oh my god.
That's what I wanted done in this game. That's it.
Oh, Hudson-Odoi could have put straight back into this game. Hudson-Odoi does so. Love to see it. A low driven finish into the far corner. Instant reply from us to get back into this one. And this 1-1 here. It's a good finish as well. It's not the easiest strike to score that one. You've got the angle favours the keeper in a way out of this position, but he got it right. He puts it into the far corner. No saving that for the keeper there. And we're back levelling this one just after conceding. We answer straight back with a goal of our own. Oh no, not straight away. Salazar, thank you so for making the save. And it gives White. Back over the top here to the Brazilian. That was a touch, by the way. That was a touch. I wanted to do a pass there across into Hudson-Odoi, and the game just made him do that instead. Hudson-Odoi. So someone could run into that space, but whoever this defender is right there. Grudic, I think it is. But some more there. Hudson-Odoi. If I knew the space was to open up like that, I would have kept going. I did not expect their centre-back to literally move out of the way. Challenge in there from us though, and we do well to just about deal with that one. Coming towards the half-time break. Gives White here. Jesus, what was that pass? But we get it somehow. Not too sure how we got that, but we do. Here you go, Jesus into Omori Hutchinson. Makes it 2-1. And what a play Hutchinson's turned out to be for us in this team. I talked about it earlier in the episode that how good it's been at right mid. And Igor Jesus for the assist. Hutchinson with a goal to put us 2-1 to the 2-1 in the lead here just before the half-time break. A fantastic strike there from him. Both our wild players getting the goals. The two former Chelsea talents getting the goals in this game. And Anderson steals it. Gives White. That's bad defending there from Braga. That's just straight in. Anderson hits it. And that's a good save from their keeper. But that's just straight in that Igor Jesus didn't make the run there. Hutchinson around the corner into Jesus. He plays it back over the top into Omori Hutchinson, who's denied by the keeper. Let's put this one in again, looking for Milinkovic on the header. Can the former Florentine defender win this one? Last time he hit the crossbar. This time he doesn't even win it. It comes there to Nico Williams, who hits it. Not a bad effort there from the Welshman, but not the greatest either. Okay, Fran Navarro wins the header, and finally for us it goes wide of the post. It's a good cross. Igor Jesus on the header. It's a great save there from their keeper. Gibbs White hits it. And it's another great save. Gibbs White to Backward. And Backward. Give and go here. And he gets taken out. No free kicking, Justin. But it's going to be a 2-1 win for us in the Europa League final. And what a season it's turned out to be here for Nottingham Forest. Surviving relegation and winning the Europa League. Let's cut to the trophy lift. And as you can see, the fans in Nottingham in the pub celebrating this win here that they did not expect us to go and do. But we have somehow managed to win the Europa League this season. We survive relegation. We win the Europa League. And what a season it's turned out to be here. And Gibbs White, the captain, who might not be a player for us next season, depending on what you guys say in the comments down below. I think Eddie Anderson's a player we have to sell. Murillo and also Gibbs White are both players that could be up for sale, depending on who comes in for them. But he lifts the trophy here for us. We've got one more game left of the Premier League season against Bournemouth. We're going to sim that one. And then looking at the stats of the players to wrap up season 1 here. Alright, so looking into the stats of the players, you can see Igor Jesus with 18 goals and 7 assists altogether this season. Gibbs White with 28 goal contributions, 14 and 14 there from him. Hudson-Odoi 9 goals and 1 assist. Amari Hutchinson 5 and 6, and the rest of the players doing pretty good. And the question is, looking into the team, who do we sell next season? To keep it realistic, are Forest most likely going to sell 3 of their best players? Gibbs White, Anderson, and Murillo in one window. Eddie Anderson, I think, is most likely going to leave. Murillo's been linked quite a lot away recently. They said, obviously, Gibbs White was going to leave at the start of the season, but ended up staying. So that's the question in the comments down below. Who do we sell out of those 3? I think Eddie Anderson is a player we have to let go of to keep it realistic. Yes, we did just win the Europa League, and we are going to get Champions League football next season, which I think is insane. But we're not exactly a team that can keep hold of big players right now, because yes, we have Champions League football, but you know, if Man City come in for him, you know, a big team like that is going to want to go to them for more money and more chance of winning titles. Yes, we are going to win titles in this series, but to keep it realistic, that would be most likely what we have to do. And that's going to call it for this one. So if you're going to enjoy the episode, drop a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Alright, so last season I was appointed manager of Nottingham Forest instead of Vitor Pereira, with them sitting 16th in the table. We managed to take them from 16th to winning some big trophy, as you can see right here. We managed to win the Europa League last season, and we also finished, I believe, 11th or 12th in the table, so we had a pretty good season. Stats-wise, you can see the stats there. Let's get into Season 2. However, before we get into Season 2, we've got 55 million in the budget to spend, and there's been a few signings you guys suggested down below we do make, and we're going to make 2 of them right now before we get into the new season. I'm going to quickly show you those 2 players we're going to bring into the team for Season 2 to massively improve the squad. Before we even sell players, we're going to bring in 2 players to this team to make it better. Man, the 2 players that are going to join us here in Season 2 is Dorde Petrovic and Brian Bobby from Sunderland and Bournemouth, respectively. Petrovic has cost us 20 million. The former Chelsea goalkeeper will join us to be our first-team goalkeeper, and Bobby is joining from Sunderland to be our first-team striker and give Igor Jesus some competition in that striker role. So we made 2 big signings for Season 2, and we need to sell some players in Season 2 and also make even more signings up next. And here in Season 2, we're going to keep it realistic by letting go some players that would most likely leave Forest next season, like Murillo, who's been linked to the likes of Chelsea and Bayern Munich, etc. Jota Silva has been on loan, but Besiktas has done pretty well over there. Eddie Anderson has been long linked to Man United, Man City, etc. Milenkovic is another player that could leave us. And also Matt Sells is probably going to let go of as well as some other players like Taiwo Awoniyi. We just don't need him at the club anymore. Omar Richards is him as well. And I did completely forget that we did just sign Brian Bobby. We also have Karim Mwendo, who came back from loan from Eintracht Frankfurt after they signed him last season and loaned him out to Frankfurt in January. So he's back here. I'm going to give him a chance in the team. Also, we've got David Como back as another backup centre-back for us to have in the club, which is pretty good. But obviously with the players like the 2 best centre-backs up for sale, one of our best midfielders, and also Gibbs White up for sale as well. We are going to be letting go of some big players this window. But also with that money, we're going to be bringing in some big players as well. We have 63 million in the budget to spend already, but let's get into the transfer window, which is going to be a big one to help rebuild Forest. And I might try and keep Gibbs White as possible because he is the captain of the team, and losing him I think would be the biggest loss for us. And if I do get a big offer for him, you know, from Man City, Barcelona, etc., a team like that, it's going to be impossible to say no to. But other teams that are like around our level, I'm going to let him go to only big teams, basically. The same with like Elliot Anderson, Murillo, Milenkovic, etc. They're only going to go to big teams that make sense. And becoming our first official signing here in Season 2 of this series, they were bringing Lucas Bergvall in from Spurs. They finished 16th in the table on 38 points, just avoiding relegation on the final day. So Bergvall signing here for two Forest, the team that won the Europa League last season. Is in the Champions League, we finished not 9th, we finished like 13th or 12th in the table. We finished pretty much mid-table last season. So Bergvall is coming in here to Forest to be our replacement for Eddie Anderson when he does leave, or possibly the Gibbs White replacement in the Camera, depending on where he suits the team best. And as you can see, the first player leaving here is Milenkovic to join Liverpool here for 44 million. That's bringing in a player to replace him. So losing Milenkovic is going to be big. It was a pretty good defender for us. Not the fastest, but a pretty good defender. But he's headed to Liverpool to try and help them defensively due to the issues they've had at centre-back recently. He's headed there to join on his slot to try and rebuild Liverpool. And signing here from relegated West Ham to be the replacement for Milenkovic in the team is Jean-Claude Todibo, the 26-year-old 80-rated centre-back with obviously a lot more pace than Milenkovic and similar height as well. And a very good defender. Obviously, West Ham got relegated last season, so we're signing him to replace him in the team for only about 23 million. It's a pretty good deal to bring him in. Obviously, a lot of upside for Todibo still, with some decent potential, and should be a great centre-back for us in the team to replace Milenkovic at centre-back. And as you can see, the next big player to leave is Murillo here to join Manchester City for 52 million. The Brazilian centre-back is headed over there to Man City. The team that I believe finished second in the Premier League last season. I think Arsenal won the league. A big player for us to lose, yes, but 52 million is a lot over his market value. We've got the most amount of money possible for him. But let's get into the transfer window and buy a player to replace him as centre-back. And to find Murillo's replacement, you have to look forward with signing Malik Thiaw from Newcastle. They finished just above us in the table, level on points with us in 10th or 11th in the table. And obviously, we have Champions League football this season. We won the Europa League, so that's why we can make this signing of Malik Thiaw a bit more realistic, because obviously he wants to play for a team that played Champions League football. We're spending bigger than 42 million on the 24-year-old 83-rated German centre-back to be the partner of Todibo this season at centre-back in our team, and will be a fantastic player for us to have as centre-back to replace Murillo. So we're getting a lot of height and kept the pace and defensive capabilities of the Brazilian in the German here. Alright, so it's time for the likes of Petrovic, Todibo, Thiaw, and also Bergvall and Brobbey to make their debuts in the team. As you can see, Gibbs White and Eddie Anderson are still here because we haven't got any offers for Gibbs White just yet. And Eddie Anderson, we've had offers from the likes of Newcastle, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace coming for him. You know, teams that we just wouldn't sell him to. We've not had any big teams coming for him just yet. And so if we don't get any big offers for him, the same with Gibbs White, we might as well just keep him and have them be part of the team. Obviously, we don't get the offers, we can't sell the players. We could do a swap deal, yes, but at the same time, there isn't really any players that want to bring in from some big teams that could help us. I can see our bench is looking pretty good. And you guys did suggest that we do sign a new right mid, a new left back. But in my opinion, Backward and Hutchinson are more than capable of playing right mid for us. We saw that from Hutchinson last season. He was great for us in that position. And Backward is a player we can develop, and hopefully he can give us a much better showcase of what he can do this season than he did last season. And this isn't Neco Williams. I just like him at left back. He's got the anticipated play style. Yes, he's not the quickest or most physical defender, but I feel like his versatility, he can play right back and left back, is massive for us. If we get an injury for Ola, he can play right back, or Savona can come in at right back. And we probably need to sign up. We've got Lucanetz as a back or left back, so I'm fine with that right now. But in terms of new signings, I feel like the team right now is looking pretty good. We still have about 90 million to spend, by the way, and that is without selling Anderson and Gibbs White. So we have a lot of money to spend this season still. Let's get into this game now. In the Super Cup final against Arsenal, who won the Champions League last season, we won the Europa League, and hopefully the likes of Bergvall, Todibo, Brobbey, Thiaw, and also Petrovic can do well on their debuts here. Alright, so this is my first time playing since the patch update, and my first time playing in like 3-4 days, so let's see how frustrating this game is going to make me in the first, 12 minutes of me playing. As I see, this game is probably going to last around 12 minutes, but Arsenal through here. And also, this is my first time testing out the new update for the passing, which I feel like in Ultimate Team, people have been saying it's better because they're using players with like 98 passing, so no doubt it's going to feel good because you've already got players with max passing stats. But in terms of Pro Mode, I just feel like it's not going to make a difference. Shot here, Petrovic with a save. I'll have to see that from him, the strength. It's on the door, cuts inside of what a player was for us last season. He plays it into Brian Brobbey here, low driven shot from the Dutchman, and Raya makes the unnatural save there. They need to really sort out the corners because Robbie is not the player we want here. He's got decent heading stats, yes, but I see want a taller player than like Taliba or, you know, Taliba or Tiao to win the headers. A good win there. Taliba, a centre back. Not a bad effort there from him, to be fair. Not the player that I needed there for that opportunity, but it wasn't bad. Gives White and Robbie linking up quite nicely here. Brian Robbie now, the number 11, shoots and Raya makes the save though. Supermendi. Oh, it's going to be Devon Trossard. Petrovic closes him down though, makes the save. I always struggle to defend against Trossard. Not going to lie, not too sure why, but he always is a player that him use under the AI's control. It's so hard to defend as Timber puts the ball into the side net in there. I can't make the steal. Michael Arsenal. Shot taken. Petrovic could save again there from him. Hutchinson. For the show that you deserve to stay in the team this season. You played good last season. But the level has stepped up. Robbie scores. The passing felt better there, I will say. That did feel a bit quicker and crisper than usual there. And Brian Robbie gets his first goal in Forest colours. Forest colours here at the signing from Sunderland. The Dutchman, the former Ajax talent, does well here for us. And it's Hudson-Odoi with the assist. Hutchinson to Hudson-Odoi into Robbie for the goal to make it 1-0 here to us against Arsenal in the Super Cup final. So us beating a team that not only won the Premier League but also the Champions League last season would be a big statement for us going into the season to prove that maybe we can win a big trophy this season. And the attack from kickoff. Joker's back here to Supermendi. Ball inside here to Trossard. He shoots and it's Petrovic with the save though. But passing wise and just overall play, he's such a good player. I feel like maybe he could be a backup cam for us this season. And we're signing a world class right mid. I didn't want to put the focus on that misplaced pass because I didn't want to complain about the passing due to the update, but that was awful. That shouldn't have happened. The second it happened, I felt like complaining, but I didn't want to do it. Will it show it? Of course it doesn't. I'm going to show you it in the replay because that was horrific. Okay, so this pass here, this is Eddie Anderson, right? This is Eddie Anderson. He's got great passing stats, right? I get the ball with him and I'm like, you know what? Let's play a quick pass into the gap here. Look at the gap for that pass to go into. Right, either side of Hudson-Odoi. Look where it goes. Straight to Bukayo Saka. This pass shouldn't be going wrong. Look at the space. Gives White, Robbie, let's put us back in the lead. There we go, straight from kick-off. Hold that, Arsenal. Robbie with 2 goals. That through ball from Gibbs White felt incredible there. The back heel there from him. The captain gets the assist. And the goal that puts us back in the lead. I played out. We literally have not had a single offer for him just yet. And Eddie Anderson, we've not had any offers that are like serious teams for us to sell to. And Robbie, on his debut, 2 goals from him. And after that, he didn't score for ages. But Arsenal straight from kick-off. Tadibo steps in. Robbie. Those passes are the ones that I hate going wrong because they're such simple passes. Trossard, the Belgian, whips it in, back post. Saka heads it out of play though. Him. Gabriel heads it away. Robbie, oh, if he won that, that'd have been great. We get the ball here. Eddie Anderson hits it right with a save. Joker's. I feel like Arsenal are going to level this up later on and send it through to extra time or penalties. I just have that feeling about it. It's not a good feeling. And that's going to be a free kick. In a good position as well. Last moment of the game. Thankfully, it's not Declan Rice stood over it after what he did against Real Madrid last season. But Eze hits it, and that's a Awful attempt from him. And that should be the game, set a match. We should be about to win the UEFA Super Cup. As it's a great ball. Can we get to this? Robbie, Gabriel defends it. And does well again. But that's it, game done. It's a 2-1 win in the UEFA Super Cup final against Arsenal. The team that only won the Premier League last season, but also the Champions League. We won the Europa League last season to get us here. And we win the Super Cup here with Robbie with 2 goals on his debut. And 2 pretty nice goals as well. The goal Arsenal scored came from an error from the game, not a good amount of play from them. But we lift our second European trophy of the series, which is the UEFA Super Cup, which was to see back-to-back European trophies for us, the Europa League and now the Super Cup. And what a win that is for us. Gibbs White still the captain of the team, still here at the team. Same with Elliot Anderson, 2 players that have not left the team just yet, and maybe they want to stay. But obviously we haven't had offers for Gibbs White just yet, though, and Elliot Anderson, we haven't had any big offers for them. But this is the big statement win for us. Beating Arsenal, the team that won the Champions League and lost to the Prem, means that maybe Elliot Anderson and Gibbs White will want to stay. And also, we could make a big signing for a big team, for a big player, after this win here, to maybe show we're a team to take serious here this season with this win here. Alright, so next up we're taking on Manchester United away from home at home at the City Ground. Sorry, they're playing away from home. Also, we just won the Super Cup. We drew our first game of the season with our second team against Leeds 2-2. So this is our second game of the Premier League season, which hopefully we can get a win here in this one against United. Let's get into this game and hopefully beat them here. But before we get into this one, you guys did suggest we do some Ryan, the Brazilian talent from Bournemouth, into the team to replace Hutchinson at right mid, which now I'm thinking about maybe signing a world-class right midfielder. I mean, there's a few players on the shortlist I will show at the end of the episode that I think we could sign for that right mid role. I think we're doing incredible for us, are higher rated than Ryan, and we could do maybe a Bournemouth series in the future and use him in that one. But Hutchinson, if we did sign a new right midfielder, would go into a cam role as a backup to Gibbs White, which he could do quite well in. But then that would also mean that in another series, McCarthy has to be a player we loan out or sell. I mean, I wouldn't sell him, I'd loan him out, but McCarthy's been a player that I've been trying to get, same with Oscar Bob, to be a first-team player. We kind of did it with Oscar Bob recently in the series, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he actually became that first-team player that we needed him to be in the series. But McCarthy's been a player that ever since he left Man City, I've been saying in series that I want him to be a big player in the team. As a player that I do wish Man City kept. He's a big talent. I feel like could have done well for us, but we did let him go. He's gone to Forest where he hasn't really been given any game time to prove himself. And it's a player that is going to be, well, he's 23 now, and there's so much potential that's been missed out on due to just not being given game time and not being given chances. And when he did get chances at Man City, he proved it. He proved that he's a great player, proved he's a big talent, and I feel like he needs to go to a team where he is a first-team player, guaranteed. He can't be a player. I feel like he needs to leave Forest. I mean, it's sad to say, but I feel like McCarthy is a player that's wasted a couple of seasons now, and especially this one at Forest. I feel like it's been wasted on him, and I feel like he's going down the path of a Jadon Sancho. Not in terms of the fact that he hasn't really performed or whatever, but in terms of the fact that he's going to be a player that before you know he's going to be like 27, and you're going to be sat there thinking, what happened to him? I mean, like McCarthy's a player that I don't want that to happen to. As a former Man City talent, he's such a great player. And I feel like I'm kind of going on about a passionate rant here about him randomly in this episode as a tangent, but that's ADHD for you. But I feel like he's a player that needs to move to another team. I'm not too sure where, but I feel like maybe Bundesliga he could do well in. I feel like he's a player that can do well in the Prem, but I feel like he needs to move to a different team, get that first team position, and just run with it and just prove he's a great player. He needs to do what Rashford's doing at Barcelona and just prove that he needs to be a first-team player. But let's get into this game against Man United and hopefully beat them here. Why does it feel like players are brainless chickens, man? There's another one. Make that run, please. Thank you. Oh, of course. I don't get why they've added an animation to like cut inside where they take the ball back the direction they came from. Like that should be a voluntary thing to do, not an involuntary thing to do. Tadibo, of course. How did How did all of that just happen? We defended it, and then ricocheted between two of our players and fell straight back to Mbuma, who almost scored. It goes White through. Goes on the door, it shoots. The men's with a save. Okay, Howard's. Well, I know it's not to go past him. Petrovic makes a save. But so far, Man United are frustrating to play against. Mainly because it feels like my players are doing stupid stuff like that. Why is Bobby just running offside there? Bobby wins that header. Gives White. Charging through. The captain scores. We get a goal out of nothing. A deflected ball off Bergvall. That Bobby wins in the air. And then next thing you know, we score. You'd love to see it. A goal literally out of nowhere. But it gives White, the captain, scores for us. I could have clipped back then, give it to Huddle up. I didn't want to take any risks with the game messing it up. And he makes it 1-0 to us, which we'd love to see. And later in this game, I'm going to bring on Kelly Mwendo at some point in this game. See what he can do at striker after his loan at Frankfurt. Anderson goes steal. Hutchinson. Probably with his strength to see it. And it's taken out from behind by Malacia. That is just a cynical foul there from Malacia on his fellow Dutchman. And that should be, in my opinion, a red card from Malacia. Like, he's got no intention to play the ball there. He's just taking him out from behind for no reason. He didn't need to do that. That, in my opinion, should be a red card. I feel like it would have been a red card IRL. It was just purely cynical. There was no reason to make it. That's on the door. I was going to say could turn and shoot there, but that's half time. Maybe it's because I've not been on the game in like 3 or 4 days, but the graphics look better than they did previously, I think. Seshko, Petrovic with a save. See how wins that header to see it. Bergvall with steal. Here is gives White. Can he make it 2-0? The captain doubles the score tally. And maybe gives White is saying, yes, he could leave to a bigger team, but he's going to stay. We've won 2 European trophies with him as a captain. And in my opinion, if I was a player at Forest, who, like, you know, say Forest season did turn around the way it did IRL in the series, and if I'm Gibbs White and the team makes the signings it's made and stuff like that, I would stay. I said that is very unrealistic for us to say IRL, but, you know, we'll make it 2-0 here. Gibbs White with 2 goals, both out with the assist. Let's make a few changes to, like I said, give Kelly Mwendo a run out. Kelly Mwendo. Not so sure what's happening with him at Forest, as he was brought in and then he's been loaned out to Frankfurt. Maguire wins that there low. Lemens gets it away. Seshko wins that header. Got 4's over in the process. It's a misplaced pass there from, you got to say, I believe it was. Here's Mbumo. Got blocked there from Necker Williams though to keep it at 2-0, but give them a corner. They've got Maguire and Seshko in the box to aim for. Bruno Fernandes, but that is Tiaus to head away. Sangare. It's Dan Ndoye. Good move there from Dan Ndoye into Kelly Mwendo, who is just by Masraoui. That was so good there for part of it from both of those, but we just needed a bit more quickness there from Kelly Mwendo to get to that, to get ahead of him. Ball forward into Dan Ndoye. He puts it inside here and back outside and back in. Lovely dribbling from Dan Ndoye. That's one of the greatest goals I've scored in this game. I love scoring goals like that. I've not done it in so long. I used to try and do that all the time with players like Messi, Neymar, etc. You know, players with incredible dribbling. Those type of goals I love to score. Drag back inside, back in there. Then the finesse. That was a great goal from Dan Ndoye to make it 3-0 here. That's a fantastic goal from the Swissman. That was so fun to score. That's how this game should make you feel, man. It should make me want to rip my hair out. It should make me want to celebrate goals like that. Blocks it by Tiao. Wait, falls back to this lower guy, whoever he is. One inside it to Seshko, who does well. He shoots and scores. Questions need to be asked of Petrovic there. Why are we looking at this now? What is going on? Well, questions need to be asked of Dorian Petrovic. Because that shot went straight at him. And through him. He needs to be saving that. It's a powerful shot from Seshko, yes, but Petrovic needs to save that, in my opinion. Maybe I'm being harsh, maybe I'm being a perfectionist, but I feel like he should have been saving that. That's our clean sheet gone. And that's the end of the game. A 3-1 win against United. 2 good goals from Gibbs White and a great goal by Dan Ndoye. Sears get the 3 points here. And it would have been nice to get a clean sheet. Of course, they scored right at the end of the game in the 90th minute, but we get a win. Both I would have man of the match rating. Interesting that he's the... Did he get both assists for Gibbs White? He got one of them, I know that much. He might have got both assists. So that would explain it. And he played great in midfield, to be fair, as well. And we get a 3-1 win here against Man United. Alright, so for the final game of today's episode, we're going to be taking on the Spurs in the first round of the Carabao Cup. So they finished 16th in the table last season. We're currently, you know, above them in the table. Obviously, we finished above them last season. That's what I meant to say there. But I feel like for this game, I might maybe rotate the team a little bit. Not too sure what changes I want to make. I feel like McCarthy, I mean, Spurs are still a good team in game. That's the issue with them being like a team that are like 16th in the table. Their players in game are still high rated, like Xavi Simons, obviously Vicario in goal. They've got high rated defenders and attackers. So let's leave the team as it is for now. Let's get into this one against Spurs. So the final game of this one, today's episode will be a shorter one than usual because, well, we had a lot to get through in the first episode, like transfers, first games of the season, and there's still more transfers to be made. And we're going to talk about those at the end of today's episode here. Alright, so we'll go ahead against Spurs, a team that, as we know, IRL, relegation is very much a possibility for them. They're currently, 16th or 17th in the table. They just lost their most recent game, IRL. And it's not looking good for them. They do have the players to stay up from relegation, but if they do end up surviving, they're going to have to let go of a lot of big players. I feel like Xavi Simons would definitely leave next season. It's not worked out for him at Spurs. I feel like he could just, cut his losses and move on. But Spurs wouldn't want to do that, considering they spent quite a lot of money to bring him into the team. Something like Mohamed Kudus, players I brought in. People expected, even myself, I thought Spurs this season would have been a much better team. Kudus coming in, Simons, Thomas Frank was the manager at the time. And I thought Spurs would have been a lot better, but it didn't really work out. And they're a team that are currently looking likely to get relegated if they don't turn things around, as Hudson-Odoi is Sadade by Vicario by the two-man Solomon. He's currently on loan at Fiorentina IRL. Solanke shoots and Petrovic with a save. Simons. Solanke. Shot taken. Petrovic, that was risky there for me, by the way, with Thiaw making that challenge, but I felt like he was going to turn in a much more direct direction to Thiaw than away from him. That's why I went for that challenge, but thankfully Petrovic not only made a save, but we didn't give away a penalty in the process. It's Vuskovic. Tried to score ahead of there, but we defend him quite nicely. And Brobbey, who I believe in the past was linked to Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, why did the defender do that? Why did the defender do that? Why did whoever that was make that challenge in that time? That made no sense to do. That completely... There's Brobbey. Ball through to Hutchinson. Can he score? And Hutchinson does so. And well, last season he was a player that scored a bunch of big goals for us to help us, survive relegation and also win the Europa League to push us up to like 12th or 13th in the table, wherever we finished on 51 points at the end, so we finished about mid-table. It was like 3 or 4 teams on the same amount of points, which is 51 points that we had. And Hutchinson here scores to make it 1-0, and part of me wants to keep him, but part of me also feels like maybe we could make a big signing to improve that role in the team, but also at the same time I like Hutchinson. It's one of those where it's a player that I like, but at the same time I can understand replacing him. Especially since we have like 90 million in the budget to spend. Here's Hudson Odoi. Robbie gets White. Back into Brian Robbie. I love the enforcer plus play style. He shoots and Enquiries then makes a save. Robbie through to Hutchinson. Danzo tracking him down. I should have cut back. I thought we had time. There. In the blink of an eye, the chance was gone. But Ola Aina plays through Robbie. The Dutchman. One second. He's right-footed. Okay. So why did he take that on his left? Now that's why he missed it, because I took the shot when the ball was at his right foot, but for some reason he switched it to his left. I just had to make sure that it was right-footed, because that made no sense. But we steal it again. There's White. That's a great ball through to Odoi. Composure and patience there. And it's 2-0 here to us. And Spurs. Well, this is the first round of the Carabao Cup. I don't think I've ever played the first round of a cup competition like the FA Cup or Carabao Cup for a long time. I probably have done it in like, RTGs in the past before I even did YouTube content and stuff like that. But let me know, by the way, if you would like to see like a proper RPG series on the channel, because I'd love to do like a League 2 to Champions League type series. But the issue is that the views drop off massively after a while for those type of series. But I feel like it could be something we do on stream, or maybe like a... Considering I now do longer form videos, I feel like it could work for this type of series where it's like half a season. So I feel like we could do like a big, League 2 team to like Champions League as maybe a future series, maybe the next one we do. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that, because I would love to do one of those series at some point. I've not done one of those in a long time. Ali Anderson. Dan Doyle here into James McCarthy. Ball through to Kelly Mwendo. And, I should have taken that shot sooner. Dan Doyle. Ball front into James McCarthy. Great pass inside to Eddie Anderson, and Enquiries makes a save. But we get a penalty. And a red card there for Vuskovic, who's about to scrap the ref. I didn't even see what the penalty got given for. I just heard the whistle and I saw the referee point. To be fair, yeah, that's a penalty. And we're going to give it to... Who do I give it to? Kenny Mwendo stood over it, I believe. Let's give it to the Frenchman. Give him some confidence after the loan spell at Frankfurt. Let's let him take this one. Why not? The number 15 buries the pen. And it's 3-0 here to us with 20 or so minutes to go. I'm going to keep playing. We might as well to try and get some confidence in some players at backwork. Kenny Mwendo, McCarthy, etc. And the Frenchman, who, like I said, 3 goals and 1 assist in 9 games at Frankfurt so far in the 2 months he's spent there at loan. And they do have a 23 million option to buy. Forest bought him for 26 million, so they would lose a bit of money on the transfer, but they probably got a bit of money from the loan fee. That's why it's a lower, sort of thing. But maybe as a player we sell. I feel like this season we keep him and see what he does. And maybe as a player we should just keep around anyway. He's a good striker. Great. Always skips that challenge, thankfully, for him and us. Simmons, Tell. That's Matthias Tell, what a player he was for us in the Spurs series. Good defender, Evan Dominguez. Here's the Frenchman. Goes it inside. And he's blocked by Danza. That's what I mean. Every time is either close to scoring or getting an assist. Something happens to stop him. And then gets stopped. Anna in. Archibald heads it away. We should win that one with Tiao. Comes there to McCarthy, who hits it. Forces a big save there from the Italian. Let's go short again. Oh, that's it. That should be a high foot and a foul there from Spurs. If that was real life, that's offside by a mile. That isn't offside. Hang on. That wasn't offside. Was he in his own half? If that's the case, then sure. That makes sense. He might have been in his own half still when that pass was made. I need to look. First of all, Petrovic needs to do better with that attempt to save. That's gone. It's a good finish there from Toll, to be fair, but I feel like Petrovic should do better. I want to see Let's goal in this entirety. If it's, oh, he's in his own half, just about. Oh, that's so close. You can see why I thought it was offside. He plays it when he's in his own half here, but by the time I realised what was happening, I saw Matthias Tell there. Now and again. One thing I like, by the way, is added time is now always longer than 1 minute. You know what I mean? I feel like no matter what happened in the game, the referee always only gave like 1 or 2 minutes at a time. As we get a free kick here for handball in the final 30 seconds of the game. Eddie Anderson stood over it. Is it anyone better to take it? Maybe Callum Window, but it isn't really the accuracy. So you know what? Let's just try and rifle this one with Eddie Anderson into the back of the net. Anderson hits it off the wall, comes back to him. And back one out. Last moments of the game here. Let's try and just get a goal here later on. McCarthy turns, and that's going to be cleared by Vuskovic for another corner. Interesting, the referee hasn't called it. Let's just whip this one in. Try to win this header. Final moment of the game here. In it goes. Headed away by Danzo. And that's going to be the end of the game. That's going to be a 3-1 win in the first round of the Carabao Cup. Not a big stage of the competition, but we'll stay in it at least. You know, we're knock out Spurs, which is why I didn't want to sim this game because it's Spurs at the end of the day. But we dominated the game, 12 shots to their 3, 62% possession, 100 the door with a man of match rating, and overall a good performance from the team. Alright, so before we end the episode, we've got a few transfers to talk about possibly making regarding the right mid role of the team. What would happen if we do sign a player is Hutchinson becomes a backup cam, which then would see McCarthy go out on loan, which I do feel bad for McCarthy, but at the same time, you know, I don't mind it. At the same time, it's one of those where, like, you know, we sign a better player for the right mid role. Hutchinson, no, as you saw in that game against Spurs, did incredible, and overall, he's such a good player in this team. I feel like he's not the player that, you know, is the flashiest, but he's like just good in game. Like, he's just dribbling is great, his passing's pretty good, his shooting's good as well. He's always in the right position, so it's a player that, you know, we can develop in the team to become a world-class player, or we can have him become a backup cam and sign a big player, as we do have 90 million to spend. And there's a few players on the shortlist. One of them that you guys suggested in the comments down below is a player we could sign, and we're going to quickly just go through them real quickly. The first player is Ryan from Bournemouth, the Brazilian who's now 80 rated, and obviously a big talent. A player that I do want to use at some point since he got added to the game recently. But part of me kind of thinks we could use him in a Bournemouth series or another team. I'm not sure what that would be. But it could be a player. If you guys do want Ryan to come into the team, we will sign Ryan next episode. Other than that, we have Takefusa Kubo, if it would like me to select him. There we go. Takefusa Kubo is another player we could bring in. Play styles wise, he has pretty much everything you need. You know what I mean? Like, if I look at those stats wise as well, I don't need to talk about Takefusa Kubo. We know how good he is, and stats wise, play styles wise, everything is great, and would be a great player for us to bring into the team. Other than that, we've got Christian Pulisic here, the American playing for AC Milan, who's really done well for them. He's been a great. To be fair, Pulisic has always been a great player, but I feel like people haven't really respected him. At his time at Chelsea, he was pretty good for them, but didn't really get the respect he needed, and went to AC Milan. Has really done well for them and become a big player for them, and has been linked to us at Man United recently, and it could be a big player for us to bring into the team as a more experienced player, a higher rated player, similar to Sakubo, someone with that Champions League level experience that could come into the team. And I believe he did win the Champions League when he was at Chelsea, right? I think he did win the Champions League at Chelsea, so he has won the Champions League in the past, and could be a big player for us to bring into the team. Other than that, transfers wise, we don't need to make them. You know, if we did sell Gibbs White, Constantinius was a player you guys want me to bring into the team, that's why he is here. And we could bring him as a backup cam, but I feel like I'd rather sign a right mid than sign a backup cam and then have Hutchinson become the backup cam to Gibbs White, etc. You know what I mean? That way around of doing things. But drop in the comments down below what you think we should do next episode instead of the right mid role. I feel like you guys will want me to make a signing, but take in mind that Hutchinson has been good for us. We don't need to make a signing just for the sake of making a signing. If we do make a signing, it would be big for us to bring in someone like Pulisic or Kubo. Even Ryan would be good as a high-rated player, just about, than Hutchinson. But just but basically, it's up to you guys down below. If you want to see a new player in the team or sign a new player, we have the money to do so. We might as well, if we have the money as well, you know what I mean, sort of thing. But I'm kind of waffling for this outro. If you got to enjoy the episode, drop a like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Alright, so to start today's episode off at the Nottingham Forest, we're going to make two more big signings for the team involving the midfield, and one will be the right midfield position which Mario Hutchinson was playing in, but we're going to make a big signing for that position, and McCarthy will now go out on loan, I think anyway. I'm most likely going to loan him out, and Hutchinson will be the backup cam, so gives White for the rest of the season, and maybe one more midfielder to sign for the CDM position. If we do end up selling Eddie Anderson, both will move to the left defensive position due to being more attacking, and the midfielder we're going to sign is more of a defensive side of midfielder that can play that role there and do quite well for us. Obviously, right now we haven't had any big offers for Eddie Anderson or Gibbs White, which is why they're still in the team. But let's get into the transfer window, make a big signing for the right mid role, and also a big signing for the midfield. And for £40 million, we're bringing in Christian Pulisic from AC Milan back to Premier League football to be a right midfielder in this team. We might even switch to the 4-2-1-3 to play Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic as right wingers and left wingers instead. I might test that in today's episode. But Pulisic is signing here for £40 million from AC Milan, the 27-year-old, 85 rated American right midfielder. Obviously, he's become a big player for AC Milan since his move from Chelsea. Obviously, a former Champions League winner as well, a player that has Champions League experience as a player at the top level of football. Signs there for us at only £40 million, and a big signing like him will massively improve our attack in this team. And our final signing of this window is going to be Rafael Onyedika, the Nigerian midfielder signing from Club Brugge here. Will be a great midfielder for us in the team, much more defensive-minded, kind of similar player to Sangare in midfield and Minoga Sangare can be for us in this team. And Onyedika is going to come in 25 years old, 80 rated for £20 million. Is a fantastic signing for us to have in the team. Obviously, a much more defensive-minded CDM to partner with either Eddie Anderson if he stays, or Bergvall if Anderson decides to leave, and if we get a big offer for him. But that's the final signing of this window. And what a transfer window we just had. Alright, so it's time for our first game back in Champions League football against Inter Milan here away from home in the San Siro. Let's get into this one. Pulisic and obviously, Onyedika will make the debuts in this one. Onyedika will be on the bench for this game. Let's get into this one, and hopefully Pulisic can do well at right midfield as a show. I brought him into the team, and I could switch to the 4-2-1-3 for this game. I don't really want to test it out on a big game like this. I think we're going to try that out in our next game. We'll just see how Pulisic plays at right mid first of all before switching him to a right wing, where obviously he would be better at right wing. He does the inside forward. He does it at right wing as well. So we're going to try him there in our next game we're going to play. But in this one, we're going to stick to this formation. Bergvall and Anderson in midfield again. I've kind of liked this midfield of them two so far. And if we can keep Anderson for as long as possible, that would be great. He is still up for transfer, and if any big teams come in for him, I will sell him if we get a good offer for him from like a big team like a PSG, a Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City, etc. A team like that is likely to want to play like Eddie Anderson. And well, as we start this game against Inter Milan here, let me know in the comments below what you think our next series should be. I think today's episode might be a little bit of a shorter one again as usual. I think I might, for this season maybe, or just for the start of the season, since we've got a lot of big games, like do 25 to 30 plus minute videos instead of like the hour-long videos that I've been doing, because we've got a lot of big games to get through in today's episode, and we'd have to skip through some of them. Hudson-Odoi, Bastoni with a block there. But yeah, drop in the comments down below what you think our next series should be. I do want to kind of do like a big RTG series, like a team from League 2, use Youth Academy and stuff like that. I do kind of want to do that, but also I want to do Dortmund. We could go to Italy and do like Inter, AC Milan, etc. Even like Roma, Napoli. Into Inter, former AC Milan player. Here he goes. Captain America shoots and he scores at his debut. His first chance, and he scores. And Christian Pulisic already worth that 40 million with that goal right there. The ball played through, rifles it into the back net on his right foot. Beats, the goalkeeper for Inter. Makes it 1-0 here to us up against his former rivals in Inter Milan. Both out. Anderson, these are not the passes that I wanted. Here to Hudson-Odoi. Back here to Eddie Anderson, might as well try it. Barella deflects it into the box with the header, and that we can't win the header though. Brobby, and to Gibbs White, the captain of the team. Plays it through to Brian Brobby. What a signing he's been from Sunderland, but he's offside. Obviously, last episode, Brobby was scoring a bunch of goals for us. Gets the assist in this one for the Pulisic goal, and that isn't offside. The line showed incorrectly. I hate that in this game, man. I don't get how they make it so that AI don't draw the lines correctly, man. It's realistic because, VAR is useless for offsides most of the time, IRL, but it's annoying when we could have scored there if it wasn't for that wrong decision being made. Goes on the way over the top. Robbie. Is offside again? I swear he's not offside again here. Let's have a look again. Okay, so that one he's offside, fair enough, but the other one he wasn't. Davide Fratesi. That's going to be Ola Arnes to sweep up, and Petrovic took a little bit of a second there to clear it, but thankfully he did. The advantage, but here's Bonny, Frenchman. Tadibo good defending against his fellow Frenchman there. DeMarco, he's feeding it through to Bonny nicely, and it's 1-1. Got to ask questions about centre-backs there, just letting Bonny through. And the AI still run to the centre circle to celebrate 5 months into this game. Yeah, like Tadibo there, what's that movement? Like he's stood ahead. I don't... Sometimes the AI movement for defenders and attackers, it doesn't make any sense, man. And by sometimes I mean most of the time, because in what world is Tadibo just going to stand there and let Bonny, you know, just get in there in that position? But you know, it is where it is. When they're level in this game, their first shot of the game, they score. Pulisic can answer back and get a brace. He does so. And well, we've been the better team in this game, so we deserve the lead. We've dominated possession. We've had one shot, we've had now 4. And we've scored 2 goals here. I'm going to bring on Yedika for the rest of the game. Take off Bergvall, because Anderson is more defensive. And Pulisic with a brace at his debut. Answers straight back from kick-off. Beats Jan Sommer to make it 2-1 to us. Sangore steals it. And here goes Daniel Doyle. What a goal he scored last episode. Here's White. Into the Swissman, who shoots, and he's denied by his fellow Swiss. And Jan Sommer with a big save there. Pulisic short to Ola Aina. Inside, gives White 3-1. And this is a big statement win for us against one of the biggest teams in the Champions League in Inter Milan. Yes, they're not favourites to win it, but still, they're a team that are most likely going to get to the quarter-final, semi-final stage, you expect, with the team they have. As gives White here, rifles it to make it 3-1. First time. Great finish there from him. And when I get a 2-goal lead in this game, I need to change Onyedika's number from number 13. I just saw that in that replay there that I need to change that. It's got to be all Saliba. Bonny heads it down, but there's Onyedika sweeping it up. Thiago, great interception. Here goes Dan Doy running through. Swissman lifts it up, looking for Robbie on the header. Forced to gives White. I think the ref gave a free kick for something in the centre anyway. No, it gave a goal kick, okay. Gives White just missed. Slap possession of Pulisic now, looking for a hat-trick. Goes inside of Christian Pulisic, driving to get the hat-trick on his debut. And he's done so. Talk about hitting the ground running on your debut. 3 goals to make it 4-1. And this might be the best of the bunch. Some great dribbling to get into the box. And a nice finish straight into the far corner to make it 4-1 here. And Inter, despite playing 5 at the back, have conceded 4 goals. And well, they can't say they didn't deserve to, because we've scored some great goals in this game. And we're going to get a big win against Inter Milan. The team that just haven't been in this game. Attacking wise, they've been poor. Denzel Dumfries, Neco Williams is in there. That should be into the game. It's a lovely challenge there from the Welshman. There we go. No clean sheet for us, but a 4-1 win. And a big 3 points against Inter. And that man right there scores a hat-trick on his debut. 3 goals from 3 shots. And Christian Pulisic, what a signing he's proven to be already against his former rivals, scoring a hat-trick here. And we dominated this game. 8 shots to their 1. 63% possession, and who else but Pulisic for the man of the match rating right there. Alright, so next up it's time for us to face one of our former players at the Etihad in Austin, Murrah, who was sold to Man City last episode. Let's get straight into this one. up against him. I was going to try the 4-2-1-3 for this game, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll just be into 4-1 with this formation and dominated the game. So clearly this formation is working out for us. We won. I was to the Super Cup, we won the Europa League last season. We are performing well in this formation, so I don't want to switch it just yet. And while it's getting to this one, up against Man City at the Etihad and hopefully defeat them here. They're currently 9th in the table. We're 2nd, so right now we're having a much better season than they are so far. And well, it's going to be interesting seeing what Man City we're facing, because obviously they do have Murillo in their team, but it doesn't seem like he's playing for them. Looking at the back line right there, he's probably on the bench for this game. It's ball over the top here, looking for Brobbey straight away in this game. Brobbey, can he make it 1-0? And it is 1-0. That quickly we take the lead against Manchester City here, and it's Brian Brobbey on the score sheet, the Dutchman, who in real life has been doing quite well for Sunderland, who were signed from them, and has continued his performances here in the red and white of Nottingham Forest. In behind, hits it in the back of the net, 1-0 here to us 2 minutes in. And what a fantastic start for us that is in this game, and what a unexpected start that is as well. Some favouritism from the ref there. Here is Ryan Shirky. Nico Williams with the interception, no. Look away out wide to Enquiries. Ball inside to the back post, and Bernardo Silva hits the crossbar with the header. Not too sure how Bernardo Silva was wide open there. To be fair, I guess it's diminutive, and a player that kind of just creeps into the box like that in those positions because you don't see him coming. You don't expect him to do so. We're going to attack Pulisic on the counter straight away here. Can we get a second goal? Enquiries all over the American. Eddie Anderson does well. Hudson-Odoi. It's an incredible Hudson-Odoi inside. He shoots and he scores. Man City's high press worked against them there because we drew them out there with Hudson-Odoi. We get his 4th goal of the season, and there's some games in between him and Pulisic who have been scoring quite a lot of goals for us this time against White. And it's now 2-0 here to us after they hit the crossbar at one end. We score at the other. And I thought also win the league last season, so I'm guessing Man City actually, because they have the gold badge in their kit. But we score here. And that's a great goal there from Hudson-Odoi to make it 2-0 here to us. But we've always conceded 1 goal. Usually late in the game, like last episode, we scored later on. And that is frustrating with Favli Petrovic. Made that save there because that was meant to be a pass back there to our keeper, and the game just made him kick it about 2 feet. But Haaland has to go off injured in the process after that collision here with Petrovic. So in a roundabout way, that works out for us. Obviously not great to see Haaland have to go off injured, but then I have to bring on Marmoush, who, to be fair, is pretty harder to defend against than Haaland in this game. To the Boca block. Brobbey forward into Hudson-Odoi. So Gibbs White making a run, and Gibbs White has got ahead of Ruben Diaz, what puts the header wide of the post. Here he is. Bernardo Silva. Okay, I was going to say good defender for Neco Williams there, but he just kind of let Bernardo Silva get back to the ball there. But he wins it off Ryan Shirky there. Gibbs White. Ball forward to Hudson-Odoi. So Kabore tracking him down. Hudson-Odoi can create it inside. Can play it up. Looking for Pulisic, but Enquiries wins the header. See, Man City were the first game that I played in the series, and we beat them. As Neco Williams as well to defend it. Obviously in real life, Forest got a 2-2 draw late on in that game that we won in the series, but we get a 2-0 lead here going into the half-time break against Man City. Silva. Here's Memphis Depay. Randers. Both out as well to defend him. Gives White here to Hudson-Odoi. This is a great play here, but I didn't know he was ready for that. Ball into the box. And that's going to be dealt with by Tiao and put out for a corner though. Bernardo Silva Bergvall stills it, with to see that from the Swedishman, who looked dejected as Spurs lost against Crystal Palace recently. Pulisic now. Eddie Anderson back into Bergvall. And Nori handballs it, but Pulisic is inside, and Pulisic makes it through. And we're welcome back to Premier League football. 3 goals in 4 games. So this is his first. We've scored in the Prem with him. And Pulisic here makes it 3-0 here to us. Flicks it inside. Composed finish into the far corner. And we'll make it 3-0 here to us. And Man City just... Well, not the Man City we expected. They're currently 9th in it. Well, maybe they are the Man City we expected. They're 9th in the table. Let's make a few changes here. Hidoku. Plots there. It's going to be a corner for Man City here. 76 minutes in. The Depay wins in the corner. I thought Man United man. He didn't really do that well at Man United. It was the wrong transfer that he made at the time. Or years ago now. And Elliot Anderson clears it off the line. Oh, Anna got definitely against Doku there. Backward in there to Hutchinson. 2 players that competed for that position last season. See, Hutchinson did win that battle in the end, but Pulisic has been brought in to replace him. There we go, backward, across to Kelly Mwendo, and it's 4-0. We are running rampant here at the Etihad. And Kelly Mwendo, who's currently out alone at Frankfurt IRL with 3 goals and 1 assist, scores here for us. I see, didn't really work out for Forest. I think they brought him in for 26 million for Stade Rennais, I think it was, and loaned him out to Frankfurt, who have a option to buy him IRL. We kept him around for the season as a rotation player with the likes of Igor Jesus and Brobbey competing for that striker position. And Brobbey right now is the first team striker, but Kelly Mwendo is definitely going to be a good backup player for us with a pace. It's Igor Jesus, the player that scored 18 goals for us last season. We can't forget how good he's been. As Ryan Shirky takes it down. Bernardo Silva. There's Elliot Anderson now. Kelly Mwendo wants another Hutchinson. Plays it through to the Frenchman. He might return the favour here to Backward. Backward is the unluckiest player in this team. Every time he always like, looks like he's going to score, he gets unlucky. Anderson stills it, and there's going to be a clean sheet here for us. The first of the season in a played game anyway. Against Manchester City here. The 4-0 win at the Etihad. And that is a big win here for us. See, probably got a goal 2 minutes in, which set the pace for this game. And we'll beat Pep Guardiola for the 2nd time in the series. We'll beat him as my first game as manager of Forest in that first game that we played. And Hudson-Odoi, the man of the match in this game, deservedly so. He played great at left mid. And it's a 4-0 win for us here against last season's Premier League champions, if I'm not mistaken. I think they won a title because they do have the gold badge unless the game has glitched out and doesn't give it them. And just gave it them anyway, which I won't be surprised. But I think they did just about win the title last season. Alright, so next up is a trip to Stamford Bridge and a return to Chelsea for 3 players in that team. Dorde Petrovic, Hudson-Odoi, and most recently Christian Pulisic, who also joined that team as 3 former Chelsea players who are now playing for us here. Well, let's get into this one up against them. And for this game, I think I'm going to keep the team as it is. I kind of tempted to bring Onyedika into the first team, but he doesn't have the deep line playmaker. He does actually have deep line playmaker. Do I bring him in for Bergvall for this game? I've really liked Bergvall and Anderson together at the start of games, and bringing on like Onyedika later on has been kind of good for us. So I might leave it as it is. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi right now is playing incredible in the team. The same with Brobbey. Everyone in the team is playing unbelievably. Tadibo, centre-back, has been very good for us, and the same with Tiao. Petrovic in goal. That's been pretty good. He's not been the best goalkeeper I've used in this game, but he's been a pretty good goalkeeper. As he's 82 rated now, so he's got up in overall quite quickly, and will be a great goalkeeper for us in the series. And overall, the team is looking pretty good. We've got some great backup players. We don't use that much, but we've got some great players on the bench that we can use if we need to for injuries, etc. But let's get into this one though, up against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and hopefully beat them here. And as we start the game, we'll switch to the white kit, and Chelsea are currently 10th in the table. We're currently second, 2 points behind Arsenal, who are top of the table on 22 points. So that means we're second place on 20 points, obviously. Ball up wider to Pedro Neto. Chelsea recently got a big win up against Aston Villa in real life, with João Pedro playing incredible for them. And what a player João Pedro is, by the way. Obviously, we knew that from his Brighton days. Hudson-Odoi plays it through to Brobbey. Can we get a quick start in this one like we did against Man City? And we do! It's not as quick of a start because we didn't have possession to start the game off with. But Brian Brobbey gets his 2nd goal in the Premier League season. Clearly not scoring in sim games for some reason, but in the sim games, by the way, it's been like Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs White who were scoring the goals. But Brobbey here played through, gets a goal here to make it 1-0 straight away. And another quick start for us, just like against Man City. The question is, will it be just like Man City and we get a big win away from home? against one of the biggest teams in Premier League football in Chelsea here. I think I'd make a big signing, maybe like a Cole Palmer comes into the team. We're going to attack again, though, as I'm waffling about that. He gets White, he shoots, and Sanchez comfortable save there, though. Rodrigo's playing for Chelsea now. Okay. That's a big signing who I didn't expect to see in their team. Cucurella. Here is Rodrigo. Leaving Real Madrid. To be fair, I see he just picked up a big injury for them. But I do think he should leave Real Madrid. I get why he wants to stay as Petrovic. What a save. Gives White now. Brian Brobby. Waiting for the run of the captain. Here's Gibbs White. Can he make it 2-0? And Gibbs White makes it 2. And right now we are just playing at a different level of football. Like, this team is just incredible. And if we lose Eddie Anderson, part of me will miss him massively in midfield. But we have Bergvall who can switch to less CDM, a like-for-like swap, a bit less defensive Bergvall, but can be more attacking like Eddie Anderson. And we'll bring on Udika into the right centre-back role, right CDM role. And as a more defensive midfielder to balance out the midfield like we did last season with Sangare and Anderson. But right now, we are just playing some incredible football. As Brobby steals it. As Chelsea are booing their team, who are just not performing right now. They're 10th in the table. Ball forward, looking for Brobby, but it's going to be Adora Biogos to intercept. He puts it in. Taliba heads it away on as far as Cucurella. There's Romeo Lavia, who shoots, and Petrovic has to Belgian again. And Romeo Lavia right now is their best player. 2 shots he's had, and both are 4-score saves from Dordia Petrovic. João Pedro up in the air. Nico Williams has it away only as far as Caicedo. It's a frustrating goal to concede from a corner like that. Cole Palmer makes it 2-1. And the AI again runs to the centre circle to celebrate. Why is this a thing? This never used to happen. Why is this now a thing in this game? To be fair, I thought Caicedo was going to shoot, so I went for the challenge there. And I see he then played the pass instead to Cole Palmer. He makes it 2-1 and puts Chelsea back in this game. Because Elliot Anderson got a good turn there from him. Brobby. Puts on the doy. Goes inside against his former team. Shoots near post. Sanchez with a save. Taliba, why not? From range. Forces the save from Sanchez. I'd like to change the corner positions. That's annoying. Brobby though, he can win his header. Unlikely against the players that are in there, but Brobby did well. Comes there too. It's deflected and it's going to be a free kick. Or is he giving it a pen? Or is he giving it a free kick? What's the referee giving here? I don't know what he's given. He's given a penalty. What for? Handball for penalties is turned off because it gets insane in this game when you have that on. But guess what, the captain, to make it 3-1 here before half time, does so. And I'm not sure what the ref gave a penalty before, but we take it. It's 3-1 now with a 2-1 lead again in this game. And guess what, with 7 goals in 9 games. What a season he's having. As Liam Ross and his Chelsea are now 2 goals down again in this game. And it's 3-1 here to us. I'm not sure what that penalty was given for, but I'm not going to complain. I've had some, annoying penalties given against me for stuff that wasn't a penalty, so it finally goes our way for Chelsea. We're getting back in this one. Neto does well. It's whipped into the box. Bergvall is there, and it's going to come here to Pulisic, who can get it away. I really like the fact that, at a time, that works properly instead of just being 1 minute at a time every time. Gives White. Pulisic, Adora as well there. Oh, it's incredible. It's so hard to defend Rodrigo in this game. Here's Cole Palmer. Oh, that's just... I hate when a game does that, when you press circle or B for your Xbox players for a challenge, and then your player wins the ball, without making the challenge. Andres Santos now for them. What a play he's been through in previous Pro modes. Here is Caicedo. This is how they scored their first goal. But Taliba stops him this time. Puts it inside. It's from a team. Pulisic is still going here. Can he shoot and score? Sanchez with a save. Santos. Good challenge from Taliba. That was risky. If he cut inside there, he would have skipped past us and would have been straight into the box. But hit ball over the top here from Brobby to Gibbs White, looking for the hat trick. Can he do so? Gibbs White hits it and scores a hat trick. It's 4-1. What a season he's having. Decided to stick here at the club. To be fair, we didn't get any offers for him, so he was up for transfer, as you saw in the first episode. We just didn't get any offers for him for whatever reason. But he scores here to make it 4-1, get a hat-trick, gets a hat-trick for himself. Pedro Neto. Ball at top. That's going to be taken down by Palmer, back here to Santos. Back inside here to Palmer. Tiaud as well to defend it. Delandoy. Here's Amore Hutchinson, a former Chelsea talent. Ball forward into him. To Hutchinson. Across to Kelly Mwendo, 5-1. The football we are playing is next level right now. There's just a confidence I have with some teams that are using career mode. That, like, you know, with certain players, you just have that confidence. And this Forest team, everyone I have that confidence with. The only player that I might have a little bit less confidence in is backward, but he does get unlucky. He would score more goals, but as you've seen in this series, he gets very unlucky at times where goalkeepers make great saves against him, or he just misses by an inch, or the defender makes a last moment challenge of the game to stop him from scoring. But this team is just playing at another level right now. And if we don't win everything this season, I will be disappointed, because we should, with the football we're playing, win every trophy there is up for grabs for us. Rodrigo. Here's Tiaud. Caicedo. There's Anderson though stepping in. Window into the centre. Here to backward. Can he finally get himself a goal in a played game? And he's done so. You'd love to see it. It's 6-1. And backward scores. You can see what it means to him and his teammates that he finally gets a goal. And it's 6-1 here at Stamford Bridge. You know, I think the more I played this patch, I can feel the passing is better. And you can see it in the results. 6-1. This hasn't happened in a while for me in a played game. I've beaten an AI team on an ultimate, etc. with sliders turn up to make them even harder. Everything. But we are running a riot in the Premier this season. And if we don't win it, you know, if we don't win this, the Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, like I said earlier, it will be a disappointing season if we don't win everything. Considering the football we're playing. It could be 7 here. Unless the ref calls it, it could be 7-0 here. Kelly Mwendo. 7-0, I wish it was 7-0, 7-1. Ref, you can't, I'm about to play that through to Hutchinson. But it's 6-1. The referee called mercy on Forest there. On Chelsea, sorry. Gives Whitewood the man of the match performance under doubt with a hat-trick here. I said a penalty was one of them, which I don't know why the referee gave a penalty to us, but we take it. In the end, it didn't really matter because we won the game 6-1 with 12 shots to their 4. You can't say we didn't deserve it. Robbie actually with the man of the match performance. And overall, just we dominated that game. That was incredible. Alright, so that's going to call it for the end of today's episode. As I talked about, we had a lot of big games to get through in today's episode. We have even more bigger games next episode as well. We face Roma in the Champions League. We have, I believe, Arsenal coming up in the league twice. And Spurs as well coming up soon. And Spurs right now in the series are 8th in the table, so we might have something against them. I'm not too sure, but they're probably table is looking... Man City are 15th. Surely they're going to turn the season around though. Like, you'd expect Man City to, you know, climb back up the table, but they're 15th. Fulham are 18th in the table. And Man United 13th. I mean, they're doing better than the IRL, but fair, I guess you could say as well. But I did not expect to see Man City that far down the table. In terms of the Champions League, we are currently 4th in the table with 3 wins and 2 draws, 11th. I can see the next game in that one's up against Real Madrid. Man City, despite being, you know, in the bottom half of the table, are 6th in the Champions League, so that's one thing for them going. They're doing pretty well in that. But right now the team is playing absolutely incredible. I say new signings like Onyedika's done pretty well. We'll most likely see more of him next episode. Pulisic at right wing or right mid. What a player he's been in this team. He has just been incredible, even better than I thought he would be. I knew he would be good because look at the stats. You know what I mean? All the attacking stats are above 80 rating, and that just means he's going to be a world-class player. But I didn't expect him to be this good in this episode, but he has been incredible. But one of the most slept-on players in this team is Hudson-Odoi. He has been incredible. Bergvall in midfield as well, doing great. Defensively, we're looking pretty good. And in terms of the stats of the players that end the episode, I want to show you real quickly how they are doing. And you can see Gibbs White with 11 goals and 6 assists. Pulisic with 10 goals and 11 games, 0 assists for him yet. Hudson-Odoi, sorry, 9 goals and 4 assists. Brobby, 8 goals and 7 assists. Hutchinson doing pretty well. Kelly Mwendo in the second team doing all right as well. And the same with Backworth, 5 assists and 3 goals for him. And overall, the team is just playing, absolutely incredible. Like, going from where we were last season, we weren't playing bad last season, but we weren't playing this good. I mean, we're winning games like fairly close. But in today's episode, we have absolutely ran through everyone we played, pretty much. I think everyone we played, we have destroyed. But that's going to call it for this one. Drop a like and subscribe if you want to enjoy the episode. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Alright, so to start today's episode off, as you can see, Eddie Anderson, as you see by the title in front there, will be leaving to go to PSG for 60 million. And that will leave us without our best midfielder in the team. But we did make some transfers to prepare for this loss. We brought in Boval, who's been playing alongside him so far, and also Onyedika to replace, in the future to get into the team alongside Boval if Anderson were to leave us, and he has done so. He's headed to PSG, despite us looking pretty good in the Champions League and also top of the table. Obviously winning the Europa League last season, winning the UEFA Super Cup at the start of the season. He's decided to make the move to the team top of the Champions League phase and most likely top of Ligue 1 as well in PSG, and to make that midfield even more incredible. Imagine Eddie Anderson alongside Vitinha and, their midfield they do have IRL. But let's get into this one though. Our first game of the episode up against Real Madrid in the league phase of the Champions League here. And you can see we're looking pretty good, still undefeated, 5 games in, 11 points. Let's get into this one up against the Kings of the Champions League, and hopefully in Eddie Anderson's last game, he can give us a parting gift and see us beat Real Madrid. And as I start this game, Spurs are currently losing 4-1 to Atletico Madrid inside the first 35 minutes of the game. Obviously, the Normand, Alvarez, Griezmann and Llorente have scored for Atletico Madrid to see Spurs down 4-1 inside the first 40 minutes. And Bayern Munich will also beating Atalanta 3-0, but that's to be expected. But yeah, Spurs this season, it's not looking good, bro. Let's just say that for Spurs. They are most likely looking likely to get relegated, and also in the Champions League getting battered by Atletico Madrid. But let's get into this one up against Real Madrid and hopefully beat them here. So Brian Brobby and also Pulisic gives White in behind straight away, and Dean Housen shoots there. Blocks the shot there. Should have shot first time. Fede Valverde, Uruguayan, and Mbappe through to Vinicius, and there's Petrovic coming out to collect. Brobby back out wide here. So Hudson-Odoi, he gets a shot away, but somehow Huijsen gets a blocking out. Andrew Lunin in goal for them. No Thibaut Courtois in between. Gibbs White running through. Gibbs White shoots and Lunin makes a save. Fede Valverde down here to Camavinga. Camavinga inside here. Vinicius shoots, blocks there. Pulisic into Gibbs White. Gibbs White now trying to play through Pulisic, but that's apparently no handball against Dean Housen. That looked like it was handball. And now Vinicius spins in behind and forces a big save there out of Petrovic. Vinny inside here, blocked low. Vinny somehow still does the ball, flicks it up. Mbappe's header wide of the post. And play it back up wider to the American. He might be offside here. No, he is onside. Pulisic. Dean Housen trying to stop him. Sure, many heads it away. I was hoping we could just get that up there. Pulisic, please be onside. I was offside by a second or two there, a little bit too late. And Neco Williams can do well there to hold it up. Hudson-Odoi. That pass is meant to go to Eddie Anderson in the centre. If we concede from this, I'm going to be frustrated. And we are going to do so, aren't we? No, Tadibo with a big block. Bellingham. Thiaw. Anderson did well to defend that and get it to Thiaw, who can deal with that. Hudson-Odoi, there we go. Quick turn around here, Brobby. Dean Housen's in there though. Just needed a bit of support there for him. Vinicius, oh no. I committed and somehow Vinicius messed that up. Gives White though. The captain drifts inside, great move there from here, hits it, but Luna makes the save. It was a poor finish there from Gibbs White, he needs to do better. We'll get the ball away though, cheaply in midfield. Now Vinicius. Plays it through to Mbappe. There we go. It's been coming. And it's Kylian Mbappe who makes it 1-0 to Real Madrid in the 64th minute. And while losing to Real Madrid is not a bad thing for us, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing pretty well in the league phase. We've got 2 more games after this one against Utrecht and one against Napoli. And we should probably win both of them. But this one against Real Madrid, I did want us to, you know, do better in. And Tadibo couldn't get there in time. Petrovic couldn't make the save this time. Mbappe. Oh no. Could be 2-0 Madrid here. There we go, TR blocks. And Neco Williams can hold it up just about there. Both out. Oh, the game didn't play the pass. Petrovic, what a save. No. It's 2-0, Mbappe, there we go. This is a harsh loss. But at the end of the day, it's Real Madrid. Real Madrid. But I say that, but we could have won this game. We definitely could have won this game. Inside here to Hutchinson. Murray Hutchinson can get us back in this one. He's done so. 4 minutes ago. Here's the hope to get a point. Boval stills it. Hutchinson. Kenny Buendo. Over the top to Dan Ndoye. Dan Ndoye turns. And Dan Ndoye's denied by Lunin. That was it. That was the moment. Maybe I should have gone low driven, but I aimed far corner, man. I aimed far corner. We have one more chance. Thiaw, please win this. Pulisic, in. Thiaw, wins the header off the crossbar. And you know what? Sometimes you look good in defeat, and that is one of them. Arbeloa. No, it's on another day. We could have won this game. We've got a draw here. Lunin at the end makes a big save to deny Dan Ndoye, and he should have scored. I will say he should have scored. I did aim far corner. Madrid had more shots, yes. A lot of those were from corners or long range. But we held our own in this game. We held our own. Our first loss in the league phase, and my first loss in a played game as well in this Forest series up against Real Madrid. But it's one of those that losing it, I don't mind. But we did, because we played well. It wasn't like we got absolutely dominated by Madrid in this game. We held our own. But unfortunately on the night, we couldn't get a favourable result for us. Alright, so going into our next game against Arsenal a few days later in the league, we're currently third in the table, we're currently top load, 12 points clear, second place in Aston Villa, who are on 30 points, we're top of the table on 42 points. As you can see, we're going into this game, there's not going to be Eddie Anderson into the squad for this game. I could take him on the bench instead of Dominguez, but I want to see what the team's like without him, because in a matter of weeks, he's going to be playing for PSG. And we're going to get about 80 million in the budget after he leaves, maybe like 90 million depending on how things fall for us in terms of the budget that we could spend on a player. So today's episode might be a little bit of a shorter one again, because depending on how Bergvall and Oyedi could do together in midfield, then maybe we could think about maybe signing a new midfielder, or maybe a new centre back or right back, because I like Tadibo, yes. I feel like Tadibo has been great for us, but I feel like maybe with the 80 million we could sign a world-class centre back, and Tadibo would be a very, very good backup defender for us. Or maybe we'll go all out and sign a world-class right back. But Ola Aina's got the pace, which I like for us down that right-hand side, and he doesn't really make any errors for us, but that's one thing we need to talk about. So at the end of the episode, this episode might be about 25-35 minutes long. We're going to play about 3 or 4 games in today's episode, so it's going to be a short one compared to the hour-long videos I've been doing, and a lot more condensed in terms of the time spent in the episode, in terms of how far we get, because we're going to play Arsenal twice, we're going to play Spurs and maybe the final game against Napoli in the league phase, depending on how things go after that loss to Real Madrid, where we sit in the league phase of that. after the other game against Utrecht. Let's get into this one. No Elliot Anderson in midfield for this game. And let's see how the team looks up against Arsenal, who are currently third in the table, about 13 points behind us right now. As we kick this game off here, this is our second game against Arsenal this season. We obviously beat them in the Super Cup final. They won the Champions League last season. It's Pulisic up against Nuno Mendes. Gives White though has room. The captain hits and the captain scores. 2 minutes in. Arsenal gives White acres of space. And he makes him pay for doing so. His 10th goal of the season. He's in great goal scoring form right now for us. Unfortunately, he couldn't do so against Real Madrid in the Champions League, but we did play great in that game. But he scores here. And we need to get a win here against Arsenal to bounce back from that loss to Real Madrid, which was like 3 or 4 days ago. We need to bounce back here against Arsenal. We are, like I said, we are 12 points clear of second place in Aston Villa, but we want to make that 15 if possible. If they lose that game, then also that would be 15 points clear. But we need to win this one against Arsenal first of all. We have beaten them already. In the Super Cup final, we beat them. See, the big talking point for this game is no Elliot Anderson in the squad. It's Onyedika and also Bergvall together. Enquiries here to Trossard. It's always a tough player to defend against, but Ola Aina does well there to block the shot. Robbie. Hudson-Odoi. Goes inside. There's Gabriel stepping up. Here's Enquiries. Bergvall steals it. Good to see that from him. Bringing out Taliba there was probably not a smart decision, but we had to put some pressure on them, and Taliba's back there to defend anyway. It's Neco Williams in there to Hudson-Odoi. Brian Robbie through to the Englishman. Hudson-Odoi cuts inside. And it's lucky for Arsenal. It is so lucky there. As if that should have been 2. Thiaw. Can you win this one? It's in towards the German. He's out-jumped by the Polishman, no. Forces it to him, no. In a good position, he shoots and Kiviola blocks him a second time. This time with a shot. Pulisic tries to move Bergvall. And it gives White, who hits it again near post this time. Raya with a save. Let's try it again. Ball into the box. Thiaw. You get a bit of room here. Just draw them away from you and then make. Why has the game done it there? Thiaw wins the header anyway. Puts it wide to the post. Bukayo Saka. Ball through. Into Odegaard. Here's Malik. Thiaw stepping in now. Comfortable defending from him. Bergvall does well there. Robbie. Ball over the top to the Dutchman. Running through. And the Dutchman makes it 2. What a season he's having. His 7th and 12th in his 12th game in the Prem for us. He's been scoring a lot in played games. In simulations, not so much. But in played games, he steps up. He didn't do something against Madrid, yes, but it's Real Madrid. And Brian Robbie here rifles it past David Raya to make it 2-0. We came here 3 days later, not letting that loss get to us. We are looking the much better team in this game as Hudson-Odoi hits the crossbar. Back by Bergvall to Declan Rice. And Arsenal there. Some good passing play, but Saka just wasn't on the right wavelength there with the rest of the team. Thankfully, we were there to intercept it. Saka. Joker shoots. Blocked low. Gonna make some changes pretty soon, bring them backward. Zidane and Doy, our usual changes. And Robbie here, blocked low, but comes back to us. Brian Robbie again. What's the Doy? Sob's done better there to defend him. It's the first better good defender Sob's done against Hudson-Odoi in this game. It's been a fairly bad afternoon for him. Yeah, it was Tiao. Love to see that. What's on the door? Again, over high pressing us late in this game to try and stop us from getting another. Oh, backward of that for you. Finesse shot from the Frenchman, blocked though, and it's going to go through to the keeper, David Wright. It's a 2-0 win. It could have been more for us though. And that's a positive result that you need after losing a big game. You come back a few days later and put up a performance like this, and well, the first game without Eddie Anderson in midfield for us is a positive one. We win. Onyedika and Bofal played great together because we had a man of the match performance. And as you can see, we dominated this game. Arsenal didn't do anything attacking wise, and defensively they were lucky not to concede more than 2. And well, the next game here is up against Aston Villa a few days before the transfer window opens. We did just lose a game against Sunderland. You can see they're in a sin game, but it is where it is. We don't bother about going undefeated. We are quite a few points clear top of the table. So losing against Sunderland is not, you know, the worst thing in the world. We did play that with our second team, or we did sim up with the second team. But as you can see, we've got Arsenal coming up after Aston Villa here again. We then have Spurs, who are not looking great. We have Aston Villa again towards the end of the transfer window. Napoli in the Champions League. So we've got a fairly busy January, but also this game against the final game before Eddie Anderson leaves us is at home at the City ground. So we are going to play Eddie Anderson in this one. Let's get into this one against second place Aston Villa and hopefully beat them here. It's Leon Bailey denied by Neco Williams. I see Aston Villa, like I say, as I need to just focus up here. Tiao, how's that happened? Rodgers, Petrovic with a save. But like I was saying, Villa are second. I just saw by the table a decent amount of points behind us, yes, but so we need to maintain that gap by beating them. As you also saw, we do play them at the end of January as well. So I think I might play up until that point of the season. And Petrovic with a save there as Villa are starting this game off on the front foot. Amadou Onana. A player that you guys did suggest we could bring into the team. See, Villa recently have been a team that has slipped down in performances than they were doing. I said they were looking pretty good at one point, and then they have dropped back down. Forest before playing in the blue or PSG. Brian Brobby, why not? Brian Brobby from range blocked by Pau Torres. No handball against the Spaniard. Brian Brobby here. Was on the door. 30 minutes in. This is our first proper attack in this game. Oh, we just couldn't find Pulisic there. We want to give it to him. Steve just wanted to defend him now. Here we go, Brobby. Team members starting to wake up here. Gives White. Near post. Martinez somehow makes that save there. I'm not liking this early on Bailey. Inside here. That's a big challenge from Ola Aina. And that may have just saved us. It was a risky one to make, but we had to make it. But we have to defend this corner. Oh, this was a big save from Petrovic not that long ago in this game to deny Amadou Onana. And Pau Torres' header goes over the ball, but we need to wake up in the second half because right now we're not performing that well in this game. Villa have been a lot better than us in this first half. How's it got through? Here's Leon Bailey. Rodgers shoots, Petrovic with a save. And make it the change already as well. Brandy headed off. It's been one of the better players, but Dinier's coming on, interesting change. Petrovic makes a save to Leon Bailey there, but we are struggling in this game. Good challenge in there for Neco Williams. Gives right over the top. Brobby should be onside. No, he is not, ref. No, he is not. That's onside. It's not going to show us, but that's onside. Watkins. And on it. Ball through to Daniel Mullen. It's a big challenge here for Madik Tiao. Whew. That's a world-class bit of defending there from Tiao. Darren Doy. You have a positive impact on this game. Hopefully so. How? If we concede, I'm gonna crash out. Bergval, what a challenge. I still would love to see it. Dan and Doy. Hutchinson to Bergval. Bergval. Oh, why did Kelly Boynder stand there? Can he make the block? He does. And it goes in. But it's going to be handball. The drama. The drama. Tiao, thank you. What a game he's had. Kenny Moendo. Hutchinson. Puts us ahead. He got us the goal back against Madrid. He puts us a goal ahead. Here against Villa. And what a play Hutchinson's been for us in this series. Like last season, at right mid, he was unbelievable. He's got dropped from the team due to Pulisic coming in. But as a backup camp against White, he has been cooking. And Kenny Moendo plays it through. And Amari Hutchinson, one-on-one, stayed composed, stayed focused, found the top corner. And puts us one goal to the good here in what has been an unbelievable game. I've got to say, these starters that I have really made this game fun. I like the drama, I like the competitiveness of this game, like it's been recently. I will show the sliders after this game in case anyone wants to use them. Because right now this game has been fun to play, it's been competitive, close. The AI have been tough to beat, they've been attacking. And other than the Arsenal game. Can window. Another assist maybe, blocked by Danny Doyle. No, not blocked by Danny Doyle, blocked by Matty Cash. Dan Doy beats Matty Cash, love to see it. He takes it inside. Can he do what he did last season for us and score an incredible dribbling goal? He might do here. He's got 2 or 3 players around him. Dan Doy, there's Kamara, free kick. Surely, no, but he wasted enough time for us to just about get the 3 points against Villa. Some great defending, some great goalkeeping, and in the end, a big moment from Amari Hutchinson. But that block by Malik Thiaw. That was the moment of the game. That was yes, the goal won us the game, but that block from Malik Thiaw was a game-changing moment. And Elliot Anderson has found the game a 7.0 rate, a 7.9 rating. And Hutchinson, to me, should be top 2. He should be up there after that goal. But a big 3 points against Villa here, and a hard-fought 3 points as well. And well, as you can see, it's happened. Elliot Anderson has made the switch to the French capital of Paris to play for Paris Saint-Germain as an 84 rated player. Leaves us 24 years of age for 60 million, which now gives us 80 million to spend. So let me add a few players to the short list and maybe give you guys a few things to talk about in the comments below. Potential transfer we could make with the 80 million to massively improve this team headed into the final half of the season. Alright, so after selling Elliot Anderson, we have 80 million to spend, and well, I think instead of spending all that money on like a world-class player, because some of them, to be fair, are a little bit too outside our budget, we could sign a player who has the potential to be world-class or has the experience to be a world-class player in the team. And first of all, though, it's the Uruguayan in Santiago Marino, the right-back CDM, who will be playing right-back for us in this team, replacing Ola Aina in that position. And you can see, not the most expensive, about costing about 30 million. It would bring it cost us maybe like 35 million to 40 million. We'd have to spend on bringing him in from Villarreal. A player who looks pretty good. I played that my eye on in a few series recently. As a player we could bring into the team. We've also thought about doing a Villarreal Chromid at some point and taking the Yellow Submarine to glory they've not had in their history. And I think that could be pretty fun Chromid to do with their team and take them to be not only the best team in Spain but also the best team in Europe. But Marino here, it's a good player we could bring into the team. No play styles, unfortunately. It would cost us, as you can see, about 36 to 45 million to bring into the team, but that is also money we have fairly easy to do. Next up, it's Fikayo Tomori, who has been there since episode 1, to be fair, as a player that I thought we could bring in at some point. Like I say, Todibo has been doing a great job at centre-back alongside Malik Thiaw, but signing a world-class centre-back is just obviously just something we can't pass up on with the money we have. And Tomori is always incredible in Chromid. So yeah, I do plan to do an AC Milan Chromid at some point, so maybe that could be a reason why we hold off using him in this one to use him again in the near future in the AC Milan series. But obviously, it would be a great player for us. Other than that, we have Ronald Araujo, who has made the move recently to AS Monaco, and well, we know how good he can be. Great play styles, incredible stats, and he's always just a great defender in the game, and would be absolutely incredible for us to bring into the club as a centre back to play alongside Malik Thiaw in the back line. But other than that, we have a cheaper option here, and Leonardo Balerdi, the 27-year-old former former Borussia Dortmund talent. Obviously, didn't really work out from at Dortmund, but since going to Marseille, he has rebuilt himself and proved to be one of the best centre-backs in Ligue 1. And you can see play styles-wise, incredible. Pace-wise, pretty decent, and defensive ability-wise, pretty good as well. And he would be a great player to bring into the team as well. Pretty good at passing as well, Balerdi. That's one thing he does have in his locker as well. He's pretty good at passing, and overall a pretty good centre back for the price he costs us. It will cost us maybe about 30 million or less than that, maybe about 25 million due to his contract expiring at Marseille this season, it seems like. But other than that, we've got Tapsoba, who's in the same boat. We could get for a cheaper price, and Tapsoba is always just a great player. Pacey, physicality, he's got pace, he's physical, he's tall, and defensively he's pretty good as well. And he's also good at passing. That's one thing, that's what he has alongside Balerdi. He's pretty good at passing the ball from the back, so it's one thing we can bring into the team. And other than that, the last player on the shortlist is Evan Ndika. Obviously now a Roma defender, the former Eintracht Frankfurt defender as well, if I'm not mistaken. He's a pretty good defender again. We know how good he can be as well. A player we've used in the past, and has always been great for us. And again, a player with pretty decent passing, not as good as Sober or Blurdy, but pretty good passing nonetheless. And would be a great centre back for us to bring into the team with some pretty good play styles, as you can see right there. So drop in the comments below. Next episode, do we sign Marino and a centre back, or do we go all out for just a centre back? That's the possibility we could bring in, or we could even sign another backup midfielder, as we have like Wouter Berger and Arno Engels here on the shortlist, who are cheaper. We could bring into the team. If we don't sign a right back or a centre back, we could bring in one of these two into the squad. So drop in the comments below. Which of these players we should bring into the squad next episode, if any, or if you want to see the team stay as it is. But we do have 80 million to spend, so we might as well spend it on a big player to bring into the club. Let's get into our next game now, up against Arsenal again, and hopefully beat them for a third time this season. Barcelona, that saw that you might have to convert it to get a draw in the first second. Spurs lost 5-2 in the end to Atletico Madrid, and also Bayern Munich won 6-1 against Atalanta. See, Galatasaray beat Liverpool earlier as well. So some big results. So Liverpool losing this big one, Spurs losing massively against Atletico Madrid. People saw that coming, to be fair. And obviously Bayern defeating Atalanta as Rajdan Pulisic to start this game off with. As you know, Eddie Anderson for the first time as a permanent departure. Bergvall and Onyedika did well last time in this fixture. Oh, that's a lovely bit of skill from Gibbs White, who hits it, and he probably should have scored there. And it's Odegaard. So also looking to avenge not only the loss in the Super Cup, but also the loss in the league. Shot blocked there by Thiago. Bergvall. Hudson-Odoi gives White. Brian Brobby now sends through Hudson-Odoi, but he's got Kivio there. Gives White, and there's Rice stealing it off him. So Yibo, good block. Maybe we shouldn't replace him. As like I say, he's been great in the team. But bringing in someone like maybe a Rajo into the squad, it's just, you know, something you can't really turn down. There's Brobby, lovely bit of skill. Back head to Gibbs White, that should be 1-0. The captain's denied. Get it down as well. Onyedika. Pulisic. Hits it, and Raya somehow denies him again. Let's go short, Hudson-Odoi. Ball to the back post, and that's going to be a little bit under hit, and it's going to fall to Gibbs White, who doesn't get it. And so my Jorka has taken that down. Not too sure how he's done that. Saka. That's a crunching challenge, but it's going to be a yellow card for Olana, in a dangerous position for Arsenal to get a free kick. But I had to make a challenge there. I couldn't let him just keep going with the ball. So with Saka to take, he hits it off the line by Onyedika. Havertz blocked by Williams. Onto the Odoi. So you would expect that. Trossard, oh, what is that movement there from Tadibo? Gyökeres, Petrovic makes a save. Here goes Trossard. Good defending there from Olana though. Pulisic beats Nottingham Forest. Got him tracking him down here. Could he get past Gabriel as well? Pulisic has done great here. And he's still going. Pulisic inside. And Pulisic is denied by Jakub Kivior. We saved them again, similar to the first leg. It's a big block, which stops us from scoring. Now Thiaw can win the header. Thiaw doesn't do so despite being right above it, and Mosquera heads it away. Well, Anna, please win that. Thank you. But they get it. We get it back. Okay, there we go. Brown Bobby everybody in Forster plus play style. Has room to hit one. Forster's a great save out of David Raya. Havertz heads off. And Zubimendi comes on. Interesting change. Gives White. Edge of the box here to find Hudson Odoi. He hits it. Blocked by Declan Rice. Okay, what are you doing there, Thiaw? Saka. Rice inside it too. That should be offside against Shurikres, and it is. It's a good save from Petrovic anyway. Can we window through? Dylan Doyle just inside here. And it's somehow denied by Jakub Kivior there. I don't get how we got the ball off him. We should win this game. Drawing this game isn't a bad result, obviously, against Arsenal, but we should be winning this game. Here's Pulisic. And here is Hutchinson again. Hutchinson flicks it over to Dylan Doyle. How? How did we not just win the game? Thiaw, please. Thiaw gets some free space. He heads it, and it's a poor header. To be fair, almost fell into space with Kelly Mwendo, I think it was, but not the best header there from him. Now we have to defend this counter here from Arsenal late in this game. Madueke. Oh no, no, Madueke. Petrovic, what a save. I feel like I just said a spelling Harry Potter with that, of his last name there. Not the way I said it, but he should have come out and collected it. He should have come out and collected it, thankfully. Mosquera missed. Ooh. We could have won this game, but we also could have lost this game. But there's still time left. Dylan Doyle. Come on. How is that not? Yeah, I was going to say, how is that not a free kick? There we go. Quick pass. More Hutchinson. Oh, dispossessed. Oh, you need to show more fight there, Hutchinson. It's a 0-0 draw. And the game we could have won. We should have won. But a game we could have lost. And well, we are top of the table by a good amount of points. So a draw here isn't the end of the world. But I can see we should have won this game. We definitely should have won this game. Alright, so that's going to call it for the end of today's episode. And what episode has been, to be fair, with the games we've played. And as you can see, we're currently at the top of the table on 54 points, 11 points clear. Chelsea are now second place in the table, and Villa are now third on 30 points. As you can see, and Palace are having a very good season, but they are facing Man City next year. They are level on points with, so that's a big game for them. But we currently sit top of the table, as you can see, looking pretty good. We've scored a lot of goals and we conceded at least, well, yeah, at least in the top 6, which is great to see as well. And in terms of the Champions League, we finished inside the top 8, as you can see, finished on 15 points in the end, just inside the top 8, which was to see. And in the other competitions, the Carabao Cup, we actually have made it through to the semi-finals. We are currently beating Brighton 2-1 in that one to face either Man City or Aston Villa in the final. And also we've got a similar second leg next episode. And most likely get into the final as our first game, or maybe the second game of that episode, and hopefully win the Carabao Cup. And the FA Cup, we are looking pretty good in this one as well, as we are currently up against Southampton in the next stage there. So we are pretty much we are very likely to go through to the next stage there, as you can see. But as we talked about earlier, we have 80 million to spend on a new transfer, or new transfers into the team, as we talked about at one point in the episode earlier. And in terms of the sliders, I thought I'd show you these at the end of the episode actually instead. And that's, why is it going on to beginner? I know why. It's because I did a something in Ultimate Team on Squad Battles in between episodes. But in terms of the side, as you can see, these are the ones that I have here. I turn authenticity features off because I feel like they kind of mess up the game a bit too much. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's some things I don't like about them, but I do like some things about them. In terms of the sliders, I'm just going to quickly just go through these, and if you want to copy these and use them yourself after what you've seen in today's episode, feel free to do so. These have worked pretty well for me right now, and I feel like these are ones I'm going to stick with up until most likely the next update, which is going to mess them up very likely. That tends to happen with sliders, that the next update messes them up insanely badly. If I can get words out of it, great. But in terms of the sliders, you can see that these are what I've been playing on for the past couple of days, basically, and been enjoying. And these are the ones that you've seen in today's episode. That have been, well, basically these are new sort of thing. These are what I've tested out in the past couple of days, etc., and kind of landed on. As you can see, these are the CPU sliders that you kind of check out and use yourself if you want to do, or if you want to do so as well. And that's the sliders that I use for the servers, obviously playing on Ultimate and everything like that. But in terms of the stats of the players to end the episode and the team, as you'll see, the team right now is looking pretty good. Gibbs White with 14 goals and 7 assists, Robbie 11 and 7, Kenny Mwendo with a great season, 11 goals and 4 assists from him. Pulisic 10 goals and 2 assists. Didn't have the best episode today, Pulisic. He was very lackluster in terms of like his end products in today's episode, but still a good player nonetheless. Got unlucky a few times as well. Hudson-Odoi, 10 goals and 4. Hutchinson in the second team, 10 goals and 9 assists. And also in the first team that he's come into the team, has looked incredible. Like that goal against Madrid that almost won us the game, the goal that did win us, almost brought us back into the game if Dan Ndoi did score that goal late on. And also the goal against Villa to see us win that game was massive from him. But in terms of the team's growth, as you can see, we're looking pretty good right now with Onyedika and both up to an 82. And we're not looking like we're missing Eddie Anderson too much right now. The bench players, by the way, the backup players are looking pretty good. Savoni's been converted to a centre back, but obviously he does play right back for us in the second team. But could take over a centre back. We have David Como here, who's a backup centre back alongside Jay Cunha in the second team. But in terms of players, we're looking pretty good. And one player that I need to maybe recall, who's been out on loan, is James McCarthy. As you can see, he's gone into a 78 rating at Dortmund. And I feel like we could call him back. In terms of the Champions League, he didn't play any games apparently for them. But McCarthy could be a player we call back. Not too sure how much gains I made get in the team, but I feel like he's gone up a +4. So I feel like we should call him back from loan from Dortmund, because he was very good for us when we used him. And a +4 to a 78 is a massive growth from him. And we could bring him back into the team next episode and have him be a backup player in the team for the right mid role or the cam role, and just rotate him in and out of the team wherever we need to. But that's going to call it for this one. If you've gotten to enjoy the episode, drop a like and subscribe as always. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Alright, so last episode we sold Eddie Anderson to PSG for 60 million, which we put our budget up to 80 million. So in today's episode, we're going to spend big on 2 players that come into the team that you guys voted on bringing in last episode. And they're going to be a new centre back and also a new right back for the team. Because I see Todibo and Ola Aina have been good for us, but the upgrades we can make on the team with the 80 million are going to be great for us to go into the rest of the season. As right now we are looking great. I'll show you the table before we do make the signings. We have a game against Aston Villa coming up next. We're currently 14 points clear of them now, who are third place in the table. And in the Champions League, we are through to the next stage. As we finish in the top 8, we have to go straight through to the round 16. We have to avoid the playoff round, which was to see. And recording this is half time between Leverkusen and Arsenal. Has just 8, in which Arsenal are a team that are struggling against Leverkusen so far in this game. And Leverkusen are looking pretty good, to be fair. But let's get into this episode, make 2 new signings to the team, and then get into a game against Aston Villa. And the first player walking through the door is our former Roma defender in Evan Ndika, taking over the left side centre-back role. And I see we're going to move Thiago to right centre-back, and Ndika and Thiago will make a great centre-back pairing. I see Ndika used to play in the Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankfurt, now partners up with Malik Thiago in the back line. And well, this will be a pretty good partnership for us in the team. Only 24 million was spent on a 27-year-old 83 rated centre-back now. Like I said, Todibo's been great, but bringing in someone of the quality of Ndika into the squad is something we can't turn down. We also have one more signing to make, which is going to be a brand new right back for the squad. So let's bring that player into the team up next. And next up, walking through the door, is a 24-year-old 81 rated right back, the Uruguayan Santiago Merino, signs here from Villarreal. So he can play centre back and CDM as well. He's going to replace Ola Aina in the first team. It's a player that, yes, is the same rating as Ola Aina in 81, but he's got more upside being younger, as I say, it's 24. And also, he's a very similar player to Ola Aina, but a bit better defensively, so he should help us out more at the back than Onana can do. And it's a great player that we can develop in this team. And we're 2 new defenders in the team. Let's get into their first games against Aston Villa. Alright, so after bringing Marino and Ndika into the squad, I decided to sim actually all the way up into the Carabao Cup final up against Manchester City here. But as you'll see by the calendar, we faced Man City quite a lot. As you can see, we did beat Hoffenheim 3-0 in the first leg. We then lost the second leg. We played our second team in that one. But we got through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We got a fairly easy draw against them. But as you can see here, against Man City in the Carabao Cup, and after that we faced them in the FA Cup, and then also in the Champions League quarterfinals. So we got Man City 4 times in a row. Well, one game in between against Bournemouth, but 4 games against Man City in the space of a week, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is. But you know what I mean, like, as you can see, we faced them here in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and then the quarterfinals of the Champions League as well. So Man City are a team we can't avoid in today's episode. Let's get into the first one in the Carabao Cup and hopefully win that one. And well, one thing to show you actually before we get into this game is you're probably wondering why Marino is now an 84 rated player when he came in at an 81 rating. That is because at centre back he becomes an 84 rated player. So I converted him into a centre back in a game, as he can still play right back, but looking into his stats, it's clear to see why he's high rated at centre back. So maybe that's something to take into consideration for a future series. Maybe with Villarreal, and we convert him into a centre back and have him play there and sign a right back for them. But Uruguay is still 84 rated in that team, which makes that team look even better. As you can see, Ndika's now at 84, Petrovic up to an 84, gives White 84 as well as the highest rated players. I mean, the highest rated players 85 and 86. In Pulisic and Matic, the 2 former AC Milan players in our team. Let's get into this one up against Man City, the Carabao Cup final, and hopefully walk out victors here. The amount of times recently where like my cup finals against teams I've gone to well, obviously against teams I've gone to penalties and extra time where they don't need to. You know what I mean? Like when we should have won the game inside 90 minutes. And this one feels like it's going to do so. Just at the very start, I just got that feeling. But here's Doku. Against Real Madrid, had to play 1-on-4 because Trent can't defend. What is that goal? Petrovic, what are you doing? Oh, we're 1 down to that. I guess Vidya's just come back from injury and stuff like that, but a game against Real Madrid is not the time to bring him back. You know what I mean? Like, into the fold, like we did. Put to the door, Donnarumma makes a save. Can we use the play style here to get inside? Let's find out. Brian will reinforce the play style only here. Let's see what happens. Oh my god, it actually did work, but we couldn't get a shot away. And run away with the ball here. With a pace. He gets the pass correct as well. Robbie inside. Head to... That should have been a goal. There had to be a goal there. It's a great save from Donnarumma, but it had to be a goal. Oh, Doku pokes it away. Good. Rico Lewis into the box. Petrovic, that has to be yours, thank you. Where's Haaland in their team? Have they sold him? Was he out injured or something? He might be out. Actually, he might be out injured. I feel like when we played them, didn't he get injured in the game? Please score at the end of it, Moreau, man. He's so good, but that's frustrating because he's a former player. Referee, send him off. Cynical foul from Rodri there, right in the break of half time. It's only going to be a yellow. Okay, Foden. Marino. That should have been yours to intercept. Foden. Thankfully misses. That defence was just watching that game there. No one there was like, okay, what is that pass? I just felt like none of our defenders were actually like paying attention. Gets White through, hood to the doors inside. Wait, nah, he is not offside. See it. Brian Brobby now. This time hood to the door, he's onside. Gets a hit against White. Bergval. I just needed to get under that header and lift it over Donnarumma, but he couldn't do so. Pulisic. Just shoot there. Why is he taking a decade to shoot? ball through. Huddersfield should go inside this time. Nah, this linesman is on crack or something. It's about to change it. No, it's not, because Neco Williams want a challenge, but they still have possession somehow. Let's come to Doku. Petrovic with the save. That's our second shot of the game. And we're about to lose to them 1-0 in the final. Second shot, played at the line. They've just stat pad at the end of the game to make them look a bit better. But they've done nothing all game, and they're about to win this. Unless Pulisic. There we go, finally. Finally. I can't believe I'm celebrating the 90th minute equaliser going into extra time against this game against Man City in this Carabao Cup final, because we have deserved to win this game inside 90 minutes. We've been all over them. They've had one shot at the start of the game which they led the game up until like this moment of the game. And up until the 84th minute, they had one shot. And now they've had 3 shots in this game. Well, Pulisic, Captain America, saves us late on to put us into extra time in this Carabao Cup final. And Gore and also Kelly Wendo is also Dan Doy. He's now onto the pitch. Okay, how was Shoki got that through? Petrovic, thank you. Good pass there. That's Kelly Wendo. Dan Doy just inside. The Swissman. Denied. I maybe should have gone power far post, but I tried to just creep it in at the near post and catch the rumor off guard. Dan Doy is inside here. The Swissman hits it and he scores. They've got to question the defender for Man City there. And Dan Doy just talked about how he could be the hero. His first chance was denied. That gave us the corner that he then scores from. Wish us to see we deserved this. We've been the better team in this game. By far. It's a great drag back there. To just drag Ruben Diaz out of space. He reads the game wrong there. Thought he was going to cut back. We're setting in the wrong direction. Opened up the space for the strike. And the Swissman, right on time, puts us ahead as we deserve to be in this game. We'll lose it though. That's not good. But we get it back. Singare intercepts. Dan Doy just maintaining possession to see it. And there we go. Last moment of the game here. Getting window. Ball in behind. It's a good ball, but it wasn't the right ball. But we'll win the Carabao Cup final. We deserve to do so. Man City tried to harangue their way to a trophy win. And it doesn't work out for them, thankfully. But this is only our first game against Man City in today's episode. We've got 3 more to play. Let's cut to the trophy list, and hopefully the rest of them are more entertaining than this one was. Now I can see the Forest fans celebrating in the pub because they can't believe the turnaround our team has had. Since I came in as manager, they were 16th in the table. We took them up to 13th in the table. We won the Europa League with them last season. And then we won the UEFA Super Cup, defeating then Champions League champions Arsenal. I said they're still not the Champions League champions, but the team that won it last season were Arsenal. We beat them in the Super Cup, and now we beat Man City here to win the Carabao Cup for our 3rd trophy. As Forest manager in less than a year, I have not made it as a manager yet in Forest that I've won 3 trophies. And guess what? I celebrate the Carabao Cup. The only player that could have gone at the start of the season that stayed, because like I said, we didn't get any offers for him. Weirdly, no one came in for him, and he stayed here, the captain. And maybe he said he doesn't want to leave. That's why it didn't happen. And what we've got, some more games to play against Man City. And the next one, I'm tempted to sim in the FA Cup because it's the quarterfinals. We could sim it, but we've got the game against Man City next week in the Champions League as well. I wish there's a bit more variety over the Man City 3 times in a row here for us. Alright, so before we get into our next game, I thought I'd show you this here. Mikel Arteta is apparently about to become the Espanyol manager. From Arsenal to Espanyol. How has that happened? I mean, good. That's great for Espanyol. A team that I would like to do a crime over at some point to make them a better team than Barcelona. But that is weird seeing that. How has it happened? I mean, it's cool, to see like a manager like Mikel Arteta going to Espanyol, but it's also I mean, he hasn't. It's not official yet, but that caught me off guard when I saw that as I was swimming through. All right, so where we go straight into the FA Cup quarter-finals up against Man City here. Obviously, if we win this, we go through to the semi-finals, and obviously after this, a few days later, we'll face them in the Champions League. And one thing I should say as well is Pep Guardiola has been sacked after we beat them, and they've got a new random manager in for them. So no Pep for this game for Man City after his Rambo tactics didn't work out for him. And I'm hoping that this new manager has got Man City set up in a way that they're going to be easy to beat for us here, because I want this to be a quick game. Bergvall, good attempt. Donnarumma with a save though. It wasn't signed before. Doku, there's Thiaw. Yeah, Man City have seen a lot more open defensively in this game, which I'd love to see. Robbie. I love the Enforcer plus play style, man. We don't score there without it. You saw it ping up there for a second because I held out to there with a ball over the top to hold off the defender. And then we got the low-driven finish away. Right here I was like, you know what, let's quickly hold L2. Hold him off, great strength. Then the low-driven finish there. Beats Donnarumma to make it 1-0. Like I said, I'm hoping this one can be a very quick and emphatic win for us against Man City, because I want to sim the rest of this game. Maybe at half-time with a 3-4 goals up. That would be ideal. Lovely move there, Robbie. Again with the Enforcer play style. Donnarumma denies him this time to do there. Bruno, good defending. Pulisic. Did he make it 2? It's denied there by Donnarumma. He's saving them right now. Good play, Bobby. If you can win that header, that's a great goal. He couldn't do so. Okay, game. Petrovic, what a save. They're still got to score, aren't they? Ball in. Memphis Depay, good defender again from us somehow there. What is going on? Come on, you please get that away, thank you. That challenge from Marino should have got the ball. He literally phased through it, it seemed like. Robbie. Gives White. Around Robbie. And gives White linking up well here. Robbie doesn't make it 2. This game should be 4-5-0. But Donnarumma, unlike he couldn't do IRL, is saving Man City right now. Oh, give me the shot away. That's just straight in. Lovely move there. Hood to the Doy. Maybe last involvement for the game from him. He score though. Inside. Hood to the Doy. Powers it into the back of the net. No smart finishing from me there this time. Well, it is smart finishing. I didn't try to creep it in at the near post. I just thought, you know, rifle it into the far corner. And Hood to the Doy departs the game. We're going to take him off in a second for that man right there, Dan and Doy. And also bring him back with Hutchinson. Igor Jesus is going to get a game against City here. He does well here. And rifles it past Donnarumma to finally get us the second goal in this game. Doku. There's Dominguez. And I'm back with here. Lovely move to find Igor Jesus, who saw dispossessed by Gahey there. I don't get how he got dispossessed there. There's no way Gahey should be able to get the ball. That's a great ball through. Petrovic should have been out to collect it. He needs to put pressure on Doku, who makes it 2-1 here. And Yedika hits it. Great save from Donnarumma. Ball in. Thankfully wide of the post on Semenyo with a header. Okay, this is not great. We're being pressured inside our own box late in this game. That's a good clearance there though. Igor Jesus wins a header. Dan Doy plays it back into him. Hutchinson. Rodri heads it back to Donnarumma, but that should be the end of the game. So 2-1 win against City in the FA Cup. Quarterfinals, we're through to the semi-finals. Now let's get into the quarterfinals of the Champions League up against Man City again. Alright, so as you can see, I decided to sim both legs against Man City in the Champions League because I couldn't be bothered playing them again, man. After the games we just played against them, I didn't want to play them again. We simmed both legs, we beat them here on penalties in the Champions League quarterfinals. We're through to the semi-finals, and that's that done. I didn't want to play Man City again, man. I just couldn't play them 3 times in a row. It just wasn't going to be good for my mental health, man, doing that, because if they were more entertaining to play, I would have done so. But the fact they were just playing the way they were doing, I just didn't want to play them again. Simple as that. Alright, so as you can see in the Champions League semi-finals, we're in draw against Liverpool, another Premier League team. And it seems we're going to have to face a Premier League team in Arsenal in the final if we do beat Liverpool here. So they did win the Champions League of the season, and Villarreal surprisingly making it all the way here to the semi-finals, which is pretty impressive for them. But losing the first game 4-0 isn't impressive for them. But we're going to get into this one now. Up against Liverpool and in the Prem. I believe they're currently in the top 4. No, they're not the top 5. Okay, they're in 5th place in the Europa League position, so they're not the best team, but not the worst team. And by the way, we also simmed a game in the FA Cup against Man United, and we're through to the final of the FA Cup against Crystal Palace to beat Man United 4-1 with our second team I simmed that, because Man United, I'll show you why I decided to sim it, because they are 13th in the table. So that's why I thought, you know what, the second team can beat them, and they did, and emphatically as well. But let's get into this one now, up against Liverpool, and hopefully beat them here in the first leg of the semi-finals of the Champions League here. I'm losing my head. I'm actually going insane. Like, today's episode, I'm going insane. Goes right. Alisson with a save. Szoboszlai, how is he turning? I got the shot away there, but thankfully Petrovic makes a save. Ball in. Milinkovic's header. It's been turned in by Alexander Isak at the back post. What is... What is Pulisic doing there, man? Like, oh, Neco Williams, sorry. Why is it reacting to Isak being there? Get you from a Liverpool player, man, but... Why did I have to play them as round-ball teams, man? Why couldn't I have been given, like, a fun team to play against in career mode for today's episode? Please, Robbie. Thank you. Thank you, Milenkovic. But the fact he didn't shoot first time there, I was going to crash out if he didn't score. As I told him to shoot first time. I'm not too sure what Milenkovic was trying to do. I thankfully probably got that shot away there. If he didn't do so, I was going to crash out. This game today, man. It feels like I have an episode where I have fun. You know, a few days ago, the episode I recorded, I had fun doing. Okay. 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 I guess my defenders would just be useless. And just walk out the way of Alexander Isak to let him through. It's so bipolar. And this is why it annoys me so much, because I have days when I play this game and I have fun in career mode, man. Like the other day, like the gameplay was fun, and I actually was talking good about the game, then after that it just goes downhill again for no reason. Why did he stop that run? Why did he stop that run? That's gonna do it. Robbie denied by Alisson. Have that. How is that a free kick? I got the ball. This game, man. Today. I'm going to go insane. I really hate that the AI presses back in this game. You can tell it is. Here's gives White low. I'm gonna get a shot away there. Oh, why are you moving out of the way? Why are you moving out of the way, Pulisic? Why are you moving out of the way? Okay. Thank you. Please don't get this pass wrong. Thank you. Just right across. Of course. I know I should have done that. I know I should have just shot. Oh, this AI press, man, would have just like heat-seeking glued to you. It's so frustrating. It isn't like people move IRL. That's a free kick. Thank you. Oh, well, I was going to press to play it short to Bobby. This game. It makes you want to rip your own hair out, man. Pulisic, please score this free kick. Violets. Thank you, Petrovic. Oh, yeah. He makes want to violently throw up. Come on, Pulisic, you got to score here. Thank you. Get the ball. Oh, Gioff la fitta. Thank you. Hutchinson, you've been the hero in the past. Can he be the hero again? Right here. And he has his putters ahead. That's why I brought him on. There's still another tyre. I just don't want to play it, man. I really don't. Today has been... Oh, it's been so frustrating playing this game. And I said it in today's episode already, man. If it's not in the episode, it's probably because I had to cut it out for like space. But what frustrates me about this game is the fact it goes from a few days ago when you watched the first episode of Season 2. But I was having fun. We lost to Real Madrid 2-1. But I was having fun. I wasn't mad. To go to today, a few days later, we're winning. I'm annoyed. Still, like... This game is so bipolar. Like, how have we not got a ball there? And why is the referee still playing on? There we go. We'll win the first leg. Alright, so we'll go to second leg away from Anfield. Well, away at home from Anfield. And I'm hoping we can play better than we did in the first leg. We didn't play bad, but it was just a game. Like, the gameplay right now just feels super AI heavy and like AI press and stuff like that. As you can see for the way Liverpool are set up as well. They're playing like a 5 at the back with like 60 players in midfield and there's no way through, it seems like. And he still loses possession. The Salah hits it. Well, apparently that's a cross. I don't know if that was a cross or a shot. I can't tell you. Where's my advantage, ref? Where is my advantage? Where's my advantage? I've got Szoboszlai up his arse. Robbie gives white. Through to Pulisic. Addison denies him. Maybe he could have that from you. Still has possession as well. Both out. Wide as a Robbie. And force a play style plus. And a great finish as well. Brian Robbie scores as we get 4-2 overall. 1-0 on the night. And like Gourmet, to see us go through to the final of the Champions League this season. which, like I said, will be next episode if we get there, because I'm going to call it after this one because I can't play any more games in today's episode. Like, my brain just can't take it after what we've had, after what we've experienced so far. Yeah, so far there's been 2 shots for us and 1 shot for them, which was a shot turn cross from Salah. And Dick, I love that from you. It's more like it for my team. This is what I expected in today's episode. Goes to the Doy. Does great there. Pass forward into Brobby. Across. I should have shot sooner with Gibbs White there. I should have gone for the shot after the first touch. If I had a bit more time there. Lovely play. And Brobby with a brace. It's 5-2. 2-0 on the night. And this is cathartic for me. The team's finally playing what we expect it to do. It's not been bad, the team in this episode, but it's just been the gameplay. And Brobby there rifles it past Addison for a second time tonight. Game, and I want him to get it. Pulisic. Just inside. Christian Pulisic now hits it, and Pulisic is denied by Addison. On the turn gives White. Addison made a great save there. Great defender from Thiaw, and we do keep possession just about there. Still trying to fight, still trying to drag the source into it. Now just mess it up massively there. But we do well to get it back with Onyedika there. Pulisic. Here we go with Brobby maybe. Oh, Canate blocks, but comes back here to Brobby. Ready move over from Pulisic, he shoots. And that's almost a great goal. Oh no, he's up that score here. No, we won't, because that's great defending from Evan Ndicka right at the end of the game. And that's it done, 5-2. We're through to the final. Let's get to the menu and do the outro. Alright, so that's going to call it for the end of today's episode. Now, as you can see, our next game, well, next episode we'll start off with a game against Chelsea in the Premier League. I think if we win this, we are crowned champions, right? They play the game in hand on us. They'll be on 36 games played. We'll be on 35. And we're currently 10 points clear of them. We go 13 points clear if we win it. We've only, 9 points left of the season to be picked up. And we should win the title. We should get the trophy celebrations if we beat Chelsea at home in that one. If that game is at home, I think it is. The FA Cup, we face Crystal Palace in the final. And the Champions League, we face Arsenal. It hasn't been easy for us to get here. You know what I mean? Quarterfinals, we subbed against Man City because, well, I didn't want to play Man City a million times in today's episode. We played twice against Liverpool. We beat them a lot more simpler in the second leg. And at the finals up against Arsenal, who got past Villarreal fairly comfortably in the end, 7-2 overall. But that's going to call it for this one. If you're going to enjoy the episode and just for my, just for the frustration I had to go through and everything like that, please drop a like and subscribe. And that's going to call it for this one. Drop a like, like I said, drop a like and subscribe if you're going to enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Alright, so to start the series finale of the Nottingham Forest Premier League, we're going to take on Chelsea here at home. And in this game, if we win it, I do believe we are crowned champions of the Premier League because we currently sit 10 points clear of them. And if we win this game, we'll be 13 points clear. And with them having a game in hand, there'll be another game in hand of us, as we'll be on 35 games played, they'll be on 36. I believe then we will be crowned champions of the Premier League season, as you can see, on 78 points we're currently in. We also have the FA Cup final coming up against Crystal Palace, and also the Champions League against Arsenal. And also last season won the Champions League, so they're trying to go back to back in this competition. We're looking to win our second or third in our history. As you can see, Forest have 2 stars above their name. Well, let's get into today's episode and hopefully win all 3 trophies. Well, we already know we're going to win one of them. Let's hopefully win the other 2 as well. Or up over the top to Pulisic, the former Chelsea player. And it gives White. Pulisic up into the box looking for Brobby, but that move was the wrong choice to do. It gives White now occupying the space out wide. To Pulisic, who should be on side, a ball into the box, and a shot there saved. Give them the win. And I see Jurgensen have done something like Kinski, despite getting not substituted. I don't think he did anyway. Here goes to the door from Chelsea. You've going to be played White out from behind by Livramento. And that's surely got to be a red card. He wasn't last man, but it's the intent and everything. It's only a yellow card for him. He's so lucky to be on the pitch. Genuinely, that should be a red card. That's what both are saying there, that you look at this still be on the pitch, lad. Because this should be a red. It's almost last man. He's just taking him out from behind. No intention to play the ball. Deny the goal score opportunity. Now 26 minutes and we get a free kick here. And why not just smash that with foot to the door. And Sanchez is forced into the save. I really do want to use him pretty soon. Ball in behind it. He finds Rodrigo. Palmer's shot is blocked, and now we can get the ball away. Think about it, they got rid of Hoto the Doi, and then now I've Garnacho in their team. Like, there's a player in Garnacho that you can still get. You know what I mean? Like, he's still a talented player, but it kind of feels like he's going down the Sancho route, where like he's just going to be a player that in a few years is going to think like back to his potential that he had, and that he wasted it. As Sancho tried his best not to do so. Here's gives Whitelow from range, hits it, and that's going to be comfortable save there from the Spaniard. The Brazilian charging forward there. That's a good ball, but that is going to be Enquiries there to intercept. Both out. In into Brobbey. With a bit of scudder from the Dutchman. And it's 1-0. And what a striker Brian Brobbey's been for us in this series. You look at his stats there, 15 and 24. Not the most impressive in the Prem, but that's pretty decent though in the Prem for a striker. But he's been such a great striker for us in this team. Not only has he got a bunch of goals, he's got a bunch of assists. Because the hold-up play that he can do with the enforceable play style is so crucial to where we're playing with this team. And what a striker he's proven to be since we brought him at the start of the season from Sunderland. He's proven to be a great number 9 for us up front. Obviously, it was the number 11, but we signed Pulisic, so I gave him the number 9 instead. To give Pulisic the number 11, that was a vacant at the time. Giving the ball straight to the lap. That's on me. If they score here, that's all on me. Enzo Fernandez. Petrovic, the former keeper for Chelsea, stops them there. Brian Brobbey now. There's the hold-up play that he can do. Hit the ball into Pulisic, the former Chelsea man. Could he score against his former team? And Pulisic is still going here. And Pulisic scores. What to celebrate with the Forest fans. And what a play that Pulisic has been for us in this team since signing from AC Milan. We brought him for about 40 million at the start of the season to replace Amora Hutchinson. Was the right mid at the time. So we do have quite a few former Chelsea players in this team. Petrovic, you know, we've got Hutchinson, Hudson-Odoi. We have, obviously, Pulisic who just scored. And we're leading this game 2-0. I'm actually going to put on the Forest game happening our row after this game that we win here. And right now the trophy should be ours at the end of this game. We should be about to see Gibbs White lift a Premier League trophy for Nottingham Forest. Lovely football being played on Yedika now. Pulisic. That's a great flick. Can he score at the end of it? Sanchez, what a save. That deserved to be a goal. Up wide here to Rodrigo. Puts it back into the lap. Over here to Caseda, back into the lap here. He finds it into Fernandez. Here's Estevao who shoots. That's a good finisher from the Brazilian. And Chelsea have now made this game a bit interesting. It's now 2-1. They don't deserve the score, to be fair. They've done nothing really all game. There's a good moment there. Estevao just found some space, was unmarked, and before we could get there, got the shot away, and it's a good finish there from him. Gives White now. Finesse shot from him, wide of the post. Might get us a draw. I'm not too sure what that does to the potential trophy celebrations that it does give me. They do draw this game, so we're going to try and not do so. Sharp Pedro's header is denied by Petrovic. With a big save there, but now we need to defend this corner. Last moment of the game. Thiago tries his best. Marino's in there. Pulisic can't get it away. Santos. There's under Yedika. And now Marino just gets it away. And let's cut to the trophy as we do get them at the end of this game here. And well, Forest are once again champions of England here. That means we have won 4 trophies now as Forest manager. The Europa League, UEFA Super Cup, Carabao Cup, and now the Premier League as well. We've got 2 more trophies up for grabs, which are the FA Cup and also the Champions League at the end of the episode. As Gibbs White here steps up as captain of Forest to lift the Premier League trophy here for us at the City ground with like 4 games left to spare as well. You love to see it. Let's get into the FA Cup final up next and then the Champions League final after that. Alright, so Forest has lost 1-0 IRL to Midtjylland, but here we are in the FA Cup final at Wembley. The second time we head to Wembley in the series. We did win the Carabao Cup last episode, so let's head into this one up against Crystal Palace and hopefully beat them here to win the domestic treble here with this trophy. So we go straight away in the attack here, Gibbs White. Both are trying to flick it in behind, but Kamada blocks it. It's going to be a free kick here for us in a decent position to start the game off with. So Christian Pulisic should over. He came close to scoring a free kick for us last episode. And hopefully this time he can do so here to put his 1 goal to the good here. He hits it, and it's off the crossbar. But it forces to Gibbs White and Swiding Henderson, the former Forest keeper as well, denies us there. Lovely play here, Gibbs White, the captain, hits it, and Dean Henderson makes a save again. In here to Adam Wharton. Brendan Johnson inside here to Fruk, and it forwards it to Wharton, and there's Petrovic with a save. Well against Midtjylland from what I've seen. That's such a poor. I'm holding triangle there, sorry, to bring Petrovic out for it. And the second that cross comes into the box, and he just stood there watching it for ages. Dean Henderson made a couple of big saves. Now we're 1-0 down here in this one. Ball through into the doy. And we're back level, get the ball. I want this game to be a fairly straightforward win. It's only Crystal Palace. Yes, they are like 7th or 8th or 6th in the league, somewhere around there. They're doing pretty good this season in the series, but we're top of the table. We've just won the Prem. We're in the Champions League final. We won the Super Cup and the FA Cup, not the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and also the Europa League in the series. We should beat Palace in this one. Marina does well to defend there. There goes Fruk, who's a free agent in this game. Herman Pinot. Well, through into him, and Petrovic makes a save. Gives White here into Brobby. Both out. Oh, why did Gibbs White stop his run? He hopefully can get to that. So yes, he does. The captain is through here, and it's denied by Dean Henderson. But wider to Ratsaki. I'm not liking this. Rush should have caught it, and thankfully put that wide at the post. There's Brendan Johnson. But over the top here to find. Fruk has been a danger in this game to be fair so far. And here he is again. He plays it short, and Petrovic makes a big save there. It comes there to him. He cuts it back. And Petrovic bows it again. We can't defend him inside our own box right now. We just can't for some reason. Whenever they get inside our box, our players just forget what to do. It's not a good look for us. Neither is that for them. Ndika, power shot from him, why not? Got underneath it though, a bit too much. It's an adorable to see that from him. Gives White now. Ball through to Brobby, who is offside. No, he's onside. He's onside. I thought I saw the linesman lift his flag there before I took the shot, but apparently he didn't. It was just onside there. He puts us back in the lead here. It's a good ball through by Gibbs White. Perfectly timed, it seems like. And the Dutchman puts us ahead. Where we deserve to be in this game, to be fair. We've been a better team. Pulisic with the crossbar in again from the free kick. Here's White. But there's Chris Richards diving in there. Here's White here to Pulisic. He drives into the box. The American hits it. And he puts it wide to the post. Singore here to Dan Ndoye. Made a few changes, brought in Kelly Mwendo as well as backward for the rest of the game. Gibbs White on, obviously he's a captain. Gibbs White hits it, Henderson. But the save is at a great game. To be fair, both goalkeepers have been great in this one. Ndoye. Whether this is, it's just all over us. The Kamada was just heat-seeking missile to us, but we get a 2-1 win in the end. We win the FA Cup. Let's cut to the trophy lift and see us lift another trophy in this series and episode here. And well, it's becoming a familiar feeling for Forest fans here as we lift the FA Cup. With Gibbs White stepping up to lift another trophy for us. Obviously lifted the Europa League last season, the Super Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, and also now the FA Cup. As well, next up we have the Champions League against Arsenal to try and win. And that will probably be easier than this game here, because Crystal Palace gave us a game here, to be fair. On another day they could have won. And we get a much deserved win in the FA Cup final. Let's get into the biggest game of them all now. The Champions League to try and win another European trophy for Forest in their history. Alright, so here's the Arsenal team we're going to be taking on here in the Champions League final. So kind of similar team you're going to be seeing. Obviously, most likely you're going to have Raya and goal instead of Kepa. We've got Botman, who's suspended for this game, okay? And other than that, any other changes you could imagine for the team? Gabriel Jesus probably will replaced by either Trossard or... Why is Bishop playing CDM? Yeah, this is not going to be the lineup for Arsenal. As you can see in the bottom right, though, they've lost and won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1 in the most recent games. They've gone down a star rating in this series. I think they're 5-star in the game at the beginning. Now they are 4.5 stars. So let's get into this one now. They did win the Champions League in season 1, so that's one thing to keep in mind. But we did beat them in the Super Cup final, and we also have won every cup final we have played so far. So let's get into this one. One last game against Arsenal to try and win Forest their 3rd Champions League trophy in their history. So far, gets White here, power shot from the captain, should be better there from him. So they did win the trophy last season. Pulisic, well, that's one that you saw in his time for Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi though is offside as Ryan made the save though anyway. Richard Eze trying to play it through, but Neco Williams is in there. But I've got to also say in the Arsenal game in real life recently, that wasn't a penalty. You know what I mean? The penalty they got to rescue them later on in that game wasn't a pen. I think it had got given as a penalty, but it's a dive from Madueke. There's a little bit of contact on like underneath the shirt of the defender for Madueke, but after that you can see Madueke literally throws himself to the floor. There wasn't enough contact there for him to fall over. Here's Brian Brobby, he hits it from range and forces a big save there out of David Raya. So Mendy saw it coming. There's Havertz. Obviously scored that penalty against Leverkusen. Jorquez, oh no, Havertz is through. And Petrovic denies him. Oh no. Eze. Ooh, thankfully Jorquez didn't score there because I was going to ask questions of whoever that was underneath him. In fact, they didn't win that header. I think it was Ndika. Lovely play here from us. Gives White. To the door. Oh. That's on the door. Gives White. Love that. That's on the door now. Finesse shot from him. He hits it right and makes a save. Pulisic. Good skill here from him. Which is where do we go now? Pulisic got space. And he can hit them. But Raya denies us. Let's go into the box with this corner here. Thiaw. It's Madueke, the man who won the penalty for Arsenal against Leverkusen, which wasn't a pen, but you know, it was given. You know, Ndika, why not? Ndika from range, off the crossbar. Thiaw, wide of the post. Bofa has run off the injury, but he's probably tired, so I might take him off anyway. And Williams has swallowed it. So Bofa makes way due to injury and also tiredness. For Sangare for experience and also defensive know-how. Bofa played great to be fair in this game. Brobby. Come on. This is it. This is the winner right here. Pulisic. Hudson-Odoi. What a player he has been in this series. Callum Hudson-Odoi. I recommend you try him out at SC26, man. He is so good at left wing or left mid as an inside forward. If you go back through the series, you can see just how good he has been for us. We had to be patient there. I waited for Hudson-Odoi to get there, so Pulisic could pass him the ball. He gets a shot away just about in time there, and finds the back of the net there to make it 1-0. And again, we've been better in. Again, we should be winning, and we finally are. And hopefully that goal right there made us winners the Champions League. Hudson-Odoi again. Can he get a brace late in this game? Or maybe an assist there. Sangare, right where the save is going to go out for a corner towards with 5 minutes to go. Do I play it short and just keep possession? I might do. Make my decision. Yeah, it's only 2 minutes. Okay. Let's try and get one more goal here. Ball over the top. I find Sangare. Gives White on the turn. He shoots and he scores. It's 2-0. Last kick of the game, the captain gets a goal. And you see I found it to seal the win. Sangare did brilliantly there. We've got to give the assist, obviously, to Sangare for the assist to the goal, but also the flowers. Because of how well he did there, to hold up the play, to make the run, and also pick out against White here. He does incredible himself. Spins Kivior. Puts it into the back of the net there. And what a Champions League final is officially done. And Forest, who in a matter of seconds are about to secure their third UCL trophy in their history. There we go. One more star will be added to the logo if this was real life. And it's cut to the trophy lift. And what a deserved Champions League win for us this season. Started out with us losing to Real Madrid in the league phase. Ends up with us winning the trophy in the end. And well, like I say, for the third time in their history, Forest are stepping up to lift the Champions League. This time, though, it's Callum Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs White who win us the trophy in terms of the goals. But overall, the team, everyone deserves this moment here. And Gibbs White here steps up, the player who could have left us this season, but he stayed. And as a captain, he gets to lift another trophy here. He lifted the Europa League last season, lifts the Super Cup, the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and now the Champions League. And what a moment this is for this team. Like I say, in the league phase, we lost to Real Madrid. In the game, we probably could have won, but at the same time, we deserved to lose. Real Madrid played well in that one. It was one of those where if we won it, it would have been great. If we lost it, but we lost it, we weren't mad about. And in the end, we showed that we deserved to win it by beating Arsenal here quite decisively in the final with a 2-0 win. But let's get into the menu, look at the stats of the players, and wrap up what's been one hell of a Nottingham Forest career mode here. Alright, so first of all, in terms of clean sheets, Petrovic winning 11 clean sheets to his name this season, but a decent amount, obviously double digits for him, you have to see it. And Ortega, who's been a pretty good goalkeeper for us, obviously in the first season was our first team keeper, and now becomes our backup here with 8 to his name, going up a +1 to an 80 at the age of 34, you have to see it. But in terms of goals and assists, Brian Brobby with 26 and 12. What a season he's had. And Pulisic 18 and 6, Gibbs White 18 and 14, Kevin Mwendo 18 and 7, Darren Doyle 17 and 2, Callum Hudson-Odoi 16 and 7, Hutchinson 15 and 9, back with 12 assists and 3 goals. To see that from him, he had a much better season this time around than last season. And overall, this team, we'll have a look at it in a second. I kind of want to see what rating McCarthy grew to. He stayed at a 78. Okay, I was going to call him back from his loan, but I thought, you know what, he wouldn't really get much game time. I'm going to leave him out alone at Dortmund, and it looks like he's had a pretty good loan spell there. If we went to the season 3, he would be a pretty good player for us in the team. But this team, ratings wise, you might not see why it's won the Champions League, but you saw it in the gameplay. This team is so good. Brobby at striker, he is incredible. The enforcer plus player style, just holding up play and waiting for a pass or a run or just spinning a defender. He is so good at doing that with the pace as well that he has. Gives what at Cam, incredible creative midfielder. Obviously, a player we could have lost in the series. We could have sold him and moved Hutchinson into the Cam role, or signed a Cam, but obviously he stayed with us and he's been rewarded for that loyalty, being the captain and lifting the Champions League here. Hudson-Odoi at left mid, only 80 rated, but as you saw by the stats and performance, he is unbelievable. He is so good at left mid. I feel like next season he would have a big season for us. We've probably got maybe an 83, 84 if Dynamic potentially did its thing. Pulisic at right mid, what a player he was in this team. We brought him in from AC Milan for 40 million this season to be a player that can take us to the Champions League win and also the other trophies as well. And he has certainly done that. Bergvall at CDM, obviously replacing Eddie Anderson in that creative midfield role in the CDM position there. He was incredible. Genuinely, he has been incredible in the midfield. The same with Onyedika. Both of these two as a defensive partnership. what a midfield partnership has been great. Right back in Marino, we didn't get to see much of him. Only came in January, but he's been a pretty good player. I've liked him so far in the team, and a player I would like to use again in the future at some point. Malik Thiaw, what a centre back he is in this game. We knew it would be great, but he has been unbelievable. And Deke in a similar position to Marino. We didn't see much of him, but he's been a great centre back. So again, a player that you just knew would be good in the team, but has been a great defender for us in the squad. Neco Williams at left back, probably the most underrated player in this team. He's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he's such a good left back. Like, he has been incredible for us in this team. He's just kind of done his job consistently. Never made any errors. He's never done anything wrong that I can remember. Has always just been a great player for us in the team. And Petrovic in goal. We signed him at the start of the season. I wasn't too sure on him at first, but he's grown on me and has become a great goalkeeper in this team, making some big saves for us as it's been going. And backwards wise, that Ndoye, he is so good. I might want to use him in the future as a first team player. I feel like he could be incredible as a first team player. Kenny Wenda the same with him. He was incredible for us in the team as a backup striker. Hugo Jesus was decent. Kind of dropped behind Kenny Wenda as the season went on. Backward at right mid. A player that I feel like it's just been, it's been good. Honestly, I really like backward at right mid. I feel like he's been a player that, due to him being a backup player, kind of never really got the shine he deserves and never really had the moment to break out into the team. But overall as a backup player, he's been pretty good. But Maury Hutchinson, this guy has been the cult hero of this team. The amount of big goals he scored for us is incredible. Sangore and Dominguez, two backup midfielders, have been great. Obviously, Sangore got the assist for the gives White goal. And Tadiba was a great centre-back we brought in at the first to be a first-team goalkeeper. First-team centre-back, we then moved into backup. Ola Aina, great right-back. Obviously, he was great for us. We obviously replaced him with Marino as the season went on, but obviously he's been great for us. Savona, a player that I feel like I want to use again in the future, a good young talent who's been pretty good for us when we have used him. We'll take again a great goalkeeper. It was just kind of like he did the job last season and he was pretty good. Shea Cunha, wouldn't have used him, I've liked him. Honestly, I've really liked Shea Cunha, would have used him. We didn't get to see much of Ryan Yates, David Carmo, or Luka Netz in this series, but overall this team has been incredible. And that's going to call it for this one. And I'm going to stop waffling about the team now. And it's going to be sad to not pass on this team, to move on from this team to another one. But obviously a new adventure awaits us in another career mode. That's going to call it for this one though. Drop a like and subscribe if you're going to enjoy it. And thank you for watching. And as always, goodbye.